want to give massive thanks to all of my supporting members and patrons. Thank you all so very much. Hello, good evening and welcome. Well, this is a bit of a kerfuffle, isn't it? Wasn't quite expected. I must be the only person to go to an interview and the host ran away. Never mind the debate. Yeah, I was supposed to be on Alien X Gaming tonight. It must be a cock up on the military time front. 2000 GMT was 47 minutes ago and he didn't turn up. Never mind. Let us not be downhearted, siblings. One total disaster is just the beginning. Never mind. I'm sure we'll find out eventually what went wrong. So I was sat here twiddling my thumbs and I thought, what the hell shall I do? I did a bit of jiggery pokery and then I thought, what shall I do now? And I thought, I know. Why not do an impromptu live? And I thought of something I can do on this as well. But first of all, I managed to screw up the screen. Does anyone else get it? That if you put your YouTube window to cinema mode or whatever it's called, I got it to go back now. Normally when I try and tell it to go back to ordinary view, the chat, it won't do it. If it's been to cinema mode, it gets stuck in that. So I can't get the chat beside it. But I got the chat beside it now. Chat's coming up on the window. Like I said, this is all impromptu, so I've got it set up pretty darn quick. I've got something new tonight. Yeah, I'll show you in a minute. So, how did the wife like the jiggery pokery? I don't know. I'll ask her. I'll ask her how it went. How am I, Craft Tequila? I'm super fine, thank you, Kay. Very, very fine indeed. Hello, Anna George said, good evening to you. Mohammed Shafiq. That was interesting news you sent me, Mo. Very interesting news. I look forward, eventually, to finding out what the truth of it was. A nod's as good as a wink to a blind horse. Say no more, say no more. Nod's as good as a wink. Say no more. Christopher Bale, Kevin Paul, I hope I say that right. Evening GMT peoples. And of course, Now Pinion, who was tonight the very, very first to jump into the stream. So thank you, Now. Pixel Domination, Keith Newton, IB Hunter, Speedbean, and Tusk. Good evening to you. Cinnamon Control, Martin H, Andy C, Archangelus Lunai. Now, do you know, I remember your name from a long time back. I've not seen it for a while. I hope you're okay. I hope you are. Let's just go back a bit. It's Jeff P, Christopher Pell, I think I said. Global Mom. Wow, Global Mom, you said you were looking forward to that interview on Alien X. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I think, just scrolling back quickly, I think that's pretty much everyone. Mr. X, Mr. Y said, did I know that FTFE is going to go live at 9 PM tonight? So I replied, well, you better tell him he's wasting his time there then. He's not going to get anyone watching, is he? They're all going to be tied up here. There we go. Yeah, bang. Last minute stream. We're up to 60. Just like that. Not bad at all. Yeah, I said I'll show you something new. This is just a bit of a lash up. My mate Arnie was sat here earlier on. You've seen the photo on the community post, and he sat here for ages. And as soon as I go to stroke him, he'd start pouring. Started purring. He was really, really happy here. So I set up the Arnie cam again. Yo, Arnie cam. And what's happened? He's bloody sodded off, hasn't he? What are we supposed to do without an Arnold? We've got an Arnie cam and no Arnold. Yeah, that's not very good. I'm waiting to see what as this comes through, to see what you think of the Arnie cam. Arnie hasn't been on camera for a while. I did do one entire episode with an Arnie cam the whole time. Raining cats and dogs. Yay. Yeah, so I did one video, and I filmed Arnold sat next to me for the whole video, which was quite odd. And the George said, FTFE will be live in 10 minutes. Don't make me choose. You're here. You're committed now, George. If you do go there just to sort of say, oi, I would have come on, but Mr. Sensible's on, give him a kicking for clashing with me. Oh dear. Yeah, so this was very much last minute, because like I said, I was supposed to be on Alien X Gaming. He's actually interviewed quite a few people. I've not watched the interviews. I know that Globe Mum, who was in here earlier, has been interviewed, but he's also interviewed people like Aaron Ra, as well as Team Skeptic, but he hasn't got that many views. So I'll ask, what size screen is that? What size screen is what, Martin H? This screen? This screen? It's I can't remember. It's I forget. It used to be called an ultra wide. It's basically a double width screen. I don't want to move the camera because the cable's wobbly, and as soon as I touch it, it freezes. So it's balanced there, propped up, can't move. I'm not going to touch it. I suppose I could pick up the monitor just to show you. On the other end, I don't think I will. Yeah, so it's a double width screen. Brilliant things, because of course you've got all the screen space, no divider, one power cable. It's wonderful. Now, of course, what was ultra wide, you now get these sort of triple width ones. Triple width screen. So I think when it comes to upgrade time, that might be what I do. And Marek, good evening to you. Just super chatted 5 Polish zlotys. Good evening to you, Marek. Thank you for that. He's having parish. He's been offline for a while. Okay. Well, I did see he was live stream gaming this afternoon. So, hey, don't point. Oh, I've got an Arnold over my head. Perhaps I don't want to overdo. The size of the screen is often indicated in the model name. Yeah, that's why I won't tell you my model name. Not on this one, or if it is, it's on the back. It's just an LG. It's basically a double width screen. Actually, I suppose I could tell you what the screen res is. At least you'll know that. 1 second. It's running at 2560 by 1080. Oh, it's a 29EA93. Okay, you happy now? Are you? Can I go now? Does that tell you anything? A 29EA93. It is a few years old, like about 10 now, like the rest of the computer. Like I said, when I get kit, I tend to get pretty much, not quite the very, very latest, because you'll pay through the nose for that, but just slightly, a notch or two against bleeding, a notch or two down from bleeding edge, so I don't get burnt with all the stupid, especially the money. It's still pretty pricey stuff, but there's enough life in it to keep me going. And as I said, it's actually about 9 years old, I think. So I've certainly had my money's worth, which is just what Mrs. Sensible said. She didn't pay anything at all. That's why she's had her money. Do I see Arnie? Well, Arnie, Keela, this is the Arnie cam. I set up the Arnie cam. This is the Arnie bed. But Arnie has decided to sod off. So that's not very good. I think what I might do is we will switch off Arnie cam for a while and see if he turns up. I don't know if you can. If I move back, just there. That's Arnold's own entrance to Sensible Studios. So, sorry about the squeaking. We will have to see if he turns up again. Hopefully he will. 29-inch and 21:9 ratio. Okay. That's just what I told Mrs. Sensible. She wasn't impressed though. Pylon Pratt. I'm a mom model. What's going on here then, people? You know what they say about people with large screens? Well, Speed Bean. With a screen as large as this, you don't need a willy. And he has abandoned it. Yes. And yes, he did say, I'll be back. I'll be back. I hope so. He normally comes in. Most streams he comes in. It's just a case of he's just sat there and I didn't, don't disturb him too much. Delay about 5-6 seconds. I don't know. Yes. Hey, my video. Flatzoid, failzoid. That idiot. Oh, what was that about? An illusion? The keyboard is straight. The problem is, Bosphus, the keyboard is not straight. Oh, it's one of these bendy ones, slightly ergonomic, something like that. Ergonomic. It's good. It's comfy to use. So yeah, that other one is a wide angle action camera, but yeah, the keyboard is curved as well. That must have looked really wibbly wobbly then. I just realised I hadn't switched it back. There we go. I'm showing you like that. Oh dear, I forgot to actually broadcast it over. So let me show you again. There you go. There is your wibbly wobbly keyboard. Right, happy now? Yeah. Well, that was clever, wasn't it? I switch off that camera over there, which I'm now talking to. It's all too confusing for me. I switch off that camera and don't pump it out. Ergonomatic. I don't know. I need perspective correction for the keyboard. Yeah, it could be, couldn't it? It could be. Say no more, perspective correction. To actually change the perspective into fluffspective. That is what we need. Hold on, let me just adjust this. Oh yeah, I've turned it up too much, I get too much of me. And you can have too much of a good thing. I keep telling Mrs. Sensible that. Wibbly wobbly timey-wimey. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And George said, oh, I see. Colour's better on the arnie cam. Is it now? Is it? Let's have a quick look. Why is the colour better on the arnie cam? What's wrong with... Oh, that's a bit of a... Oh, I know. There we go. If I do that for a second, I can turn it 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh. That's going to get very confusing. And I do get confused. Still looking very 50 Shades of Grey. On which camera? On the main camera. See, my problem is... if I tinker with the colourings, that's why sometimes my green screen is slightly out. I can adjust the green, but then that screws up the colour. And if I start to adjust the colours, so if I'm a bit grey on this one, am I? Oh dear. Let's have a quick try. I'll probably really screw it up though, and that will be trouble, won't it? Colour correction. Oh. That's making grayer. I don't know. How's that? Too much. So, I mean, when you're colourblind, you're knackered, really. Absolutely knackered. Well, I don't know, Gromit. I did my best. I look a bit green on the... Green? I'll tell you what, I'm just mucking... I've got this delay. I can see him messing around. Do a colour filter after your chroma filter. I think it is, Alan. Problem is, being colourblind, I don't know what colours we're getting. That's just the way Sensible likes it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't. That's better. Hey, I got it better. Is it still better? I'll leave it as it is, because I'm just wasting my time otherwise. It's Lucky Dip. If you have a look at one of my some of my older videos, there is one where I am really, really orange. But it looked fine when I did it to my eyes. Looking back, I can see it now. What is colour? I mean, colour's an illusion. It could be the new We Can't. It could be Martin H. Because, of course, all the time, right now, you can hear me. We know that, don't we? Let's turn it off. Getting a little too warm in here right now. And we don't want the squeakies going now, do we, my love? No. Right. So... Wow, 98. Poor old FTFE. He's on now, is he? I am a grey. Yeah. Yeah, I thought there's a video that's out. Oh, let me go back first. Flatzoid. I got distracted. You guys do distract me. Flatzoid and his Mars Perseverance crap. His video of, don't believe it, that's ridiculous. It's the most feeble debunk of the NASA Mars mission that you could imagine. I mean, even that CGI would have been better than what he came out with. He came out with nothing. Yeah, that video's doing really well. I suggest if you just open up another window, YouTube, do a search, Mars 2020 fake. Boom, number 1. Oh yeah, it's the only one on there. I love it. I love it. Thanks, Flatzoid. Yes. Yeah, it's rather pleased with that. There's always someone live. Keep the fun going. Yeah. Flatzoid's been done by Conspiracy Cats as well. Which video was it? Was it also his Perseverance one? I'd be Hunter. My wife likes 50 Shades of Grey version. Leave me alone. Yeah. Problem is, it's not with me. I haven't told her yet that she's not the mother of our children. I'm trying to work out a way of breaking it to her gently. Yeah, and chroma glasses. Yeah, but rather expensive, Chris. And the problem is, I wear glasses, so I can have something that you put over the top, and I'll not be funny. I look like a bit of a knob jockey then. I'd like to experience it just to see, but other than that, oh yeah, I heard Leo did that. I had a look at about 2 minutes of it, just skipped through. I mean, there's just nothing to debunk. It's just, it can't be true. Watching this video is not research. Oh dear, oh dear. Yes. Oh, nice, MD Fox. MD Fox. VR video on Apollo 11. Wow. Of course, that never happened. That was all in a studio, wasn't it? Obviously. CGI, says Snack. Colour is fake. Colour is definitely overrated. Definitely. Yeah. Blue Obsidian. Yes. Oh, flipping Joey Rocha. He's got nothing, has he? As Joey Rocha. All this Blue Obsidian is the new dome. Yeah. So that was God, what's his name? Failzoid. He had nothing, and he still hasn't done that Star Trails one. Good evening, Whisper in the Wind. Yeah, do you remember he did one on Star Trails, and I absolutely smashed him. Absolutely smashed him, and pointed out that the video he'd used to prove stars, and going in both directions at the same time, was actually an artistically edited one. Anyway, he said we fell into his trap, and he would be reeling us in some way. He said that I was on his hook. I fell for the bait that he'd set for someone else. It's now a week and a half to 2 weeks. He still hasn't done a response. I keep chasing him. And now he's saying, so why are you so desperate to have this? The reason I'm desperate to have this is because I know he can't debunk what I said. So I want him to try so he can look stupid all over again. Go for it, Flatzoid. And I did also, just on the off chance, Flatzoid, that you're watching, I did drop your comment saying please email me. I do want to speak to you about something. Totally in confidence. You can either use a throwaway email address or your real one. I don't care, because I certainly won't pass it on to anyone else. I wouldn't do that. But I do want to hear something from you, if possible. FGFE is going online. I'm over there. Mr. X, Mr. Y, you are a traitor, sir. An absolute traitor. Shame on you. Shame. If I had a glove, I'd challenge you to a duel. Oh dear. A tennis ball's green though. Not the ones that the dogs have got. They're yellow we got. Definitely yellow ones. New camera angle. Well, it's an Arnie cam, Graham. I have used it once before. It was actually set up over here, but it. Oh, do you know, I keep forgetting to switch it back off. There you go. Just thought it might make a little bit of a change, mix things up a bit, you know, a bit of ducking and diving, dodging and weaving. Yeah. It's early. Need coffee bad. Hello, General. Grab yourself a coffee and then come back, sir. This is an impromptu. I didn't really have anything planned, but now I have. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So, who else has done a video? Who else? I want you all to have a guess. Who else has been a total bloody gimboid and put out some utter stupidity? I know there's lots of them, but can you guess? Can you guess? Because I thought we might have a look at it. Well, Speed, if Arnold arrives, or when Arnold arrives, we'll whack the arnie cam on so that you can see Arnold. He hasn't been on for a little while. Oh, yes. I don't think Dan's going to get any takers for his challenge. The problem, I mean, I understand exactly what Dan did, and he's absolutely right. But the first thing they're going to do, because there's quite a few sort of steps in it, they're just going to say he's just making it impossible. We know it's impossible, but it would have been. I think it would have been good if Dan could have done something that appeared simpler to actually attempt. Because we know that they won't successfully do it, but you want them to do it. Either, to be honest, so that they can then learn from it, and maybe, just maybe, one or two of them will think, do you know what, that is right. It is. That does point to a globe. I don't hold out much hope, but they might. Or, if they double down, like Flatzoid always does, we can point and laugh at them. That's always good as well, isn't it? Arwin. Oh yes, Arwin. How many of you guys actually watched that last stream when I had Arwin on here? I mean, I know, I'll be honest, I know I did little things like this from time
Right,
to
stop
time.
that! Silly!
But that's not really that bad, is it? It's a bit rude, a little bit cheeky. Well, anyway, he was on a stream a few days later, moderating the side chat. I was just talking to someone else, and he butted in a couple of times. I replied, and he said that I was, on my stream, I had been absolutely vile to him. What the hell have I done? Vile? I didn't call him a single name. I didn't sit there and laugh. I didn't even say you're a twit or an idiot. Nothing. I talked to him respectfully. Of course I said he was wrong, but then he said I was wrong. And at the end, after it finished, I sent him an email. I sent Arwin an email that just said, thank you very much, Arwin, for coming on the stream. I really enjoyed it and I'd like to do it again. And he didn't even bother to acknowledge it. Not even to, he didn't acknowledge it and say, no, I won't because you were vile. Nothing. And then he called me vile. Judy Bassett, €7. Some cheese for Arnold. Well, thank you, Judy. I do hope, I am hoping that he will be coming back, but he's not here yet. He's not here. He's really not here. We shall see. Crackle Cat, he said that. He did say that. Absolutely. I mean, he had. Owen was panning to stream as a model. Oh, well, it could be, Mom. Thank you, 9. I have never seen Arwin on any channel other than his own or Oakley's. You're such an arse to the greaseball, being all polite and stuff. Crafty Keeler! You little toe rag. What are you talking about? That's cute. Yes! That's cute. Oh dear. Anyone who doesn't know what that is, we'll have to go back and watch the stream. Yeah, I was nice to him, Keeler. I am nice to people. I don't want to be nasty to people. If he came on here and started chatting the odds, oh yeah, I will react to that. I will show him what I think of that. But he was calm, collected, stupid, but calm and collected. And so I treated him politely. I mean, we can talk about more then. Otherwise, we sit there saying, it's flat, no, it's a globe. You're an idiot, you're a twat. and you don't get any further. At least we can talk about stuff. We know that he's not going to change his mind. We know he's wrong. But like I said before, maybe, just maybe, when we bring up different aspects, someone is going to be hearing and thinks, do you know what, I'll look into that, or that Arwen bloke is wrong about that, and they've learned and perhaps will steer away from it, in which case that's a win. If not, we can all just bloody laugh at him. We know he's an idiot. Talking of idiots, I'm going to finish this drink. And I'm going to treat myself in a second, and then we'll go through a video. Oh yes. Has anyone guessed who this video's from? You get more flies with honey than vinegar. Yeah, also rotting meat. You're right, Pixel. He did say that the chat was toxic. Yeah, I know that people in the chat called him a blithering idiot, and maybe a few words a bit more choice than that. But toxic. I've been into sort of Oakley's stream now, and places like that. Now, I'm not blaming Oakley himself, because it's not him that did it, but I've had those child things slung at me by people who are posting. That's toxic, not calling someone a twat. Yeah, he was getting a little triggered at times, especially when he kept saying that I was interrupting him all the time. I wasn't. I mean, there is a little bit of accidental talking over both ways. Of course, that's always going to happen. No trick myself on camera. I will if I so wish, General E. Shady, and there's nothing you can do. I'm big, you're small, I'm right, you're wrong, and there's nothing you can do about it. Where's that from? Where is that quote from? I used to use that with my kids. And I still do, actually. I'm big, you're small, I'm right, you're wrong, and there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, he did get a bit triggered at times, saying I didn't give him a chance to speak. As I said, occasionally I would start talking when he hadn't finished or whatever. That happens. He did it. I played it back. He did it just as much, if not more, than I did. Yeah. You only get the highest quality abuse here. Quite right, Martin H. Sir. We are purveyors of fine abuse. Roll up, get yourself abused. Lovely, angry doggy. Thank you very much. Yeah, Matilda, you got it. Yeah, well done, Kevin Paul. Is that how you say it? Is it Kevin Paul? I don't know if that's a Welsh name, in which case it's probably Gerald in Welsh, isn't it? Where, and it's pronounced Raymond Luxury Yacht. Yeah. So household. I'm going to have a look. Let's have a quick look. This will be interesting. Which is episode 1. Stupidity is not a right. 420 watching. Oh dear. Never mind, fight. Never mind. Yes, you're saying it correct. Oh right, Kevin. Thank you. Well, that's good. Because, I wouldn't want to insult you. I'd always try my best. And, of course, sometimes I'm going to be wrong. According to Mrs. S, that's all the bloody time. Yeah. Yeah, our dishwasher's on the blink. And this morning, she was down before me. And I came down, and there were some dishes that had been done on the side. So I started putting them away. She didn't say a word, not a word. So I waited till I finished, and I said, I put the dishes away. She said, oh yeah, you had to point that out, did you? I said, well yeah, because otherwise you'd say I never put the dishes away. She said, no I wouldn't. I said, you're always saying to me, you never ever ever empty the dishwasher. I do. I take turns. I do it from time to time. But she never notices it. So when there's an argument, it's always, you never do this. So I like to point out when I do. So she can't use that against me. That's wrong too. Never mind. I'm definitely going to get myself a little drink. Little drinky poos. Yeah. I'm not a big drinker. I very rarely drink. In fact, the last time I had a drink was on a stream. And I can't remember when that was. Can you remember? It's got to be at least a couple of weeks. If our dishwasher goes on the blink, that means you're sick. Oh dear, Global Mom. Yeah, dishwashers are wonderful things. I'm not going to spend this evening arguing about dishwashers. We're not going to bicker over who killed who. Streamlabs says, hey, if you like this stream, don't forget to subscribe. Ooh. Oh, damn, I'm already subscribed. I can't subscribe again. That's a shame, isn't it? I tell you, it drives me bloody crazy, Speedbean. Load the dishwasher, all the cups in the top, everyone else puts them in straight lines so that a cup is directly next to cup instead of slightly out of line, so, like honeycomb, so you get more cups in. So what we do is, it's full, you can't get any more in. I spend 10 minutes, there you go, you've got another 7 cups in now, and the plates. I actually, one time, 2 bowls like that, locked together, and of course, I left it. I was absolutely fed up with it, left it, and next morning opened it up, and they're absolutely dirty, of course, on the inside. It's like, well, why didn't that work? Well, it's not a bloody magic box. You don't just, it has to have water spraying on it. If the water can't get on it, it can't clean it. Yeah, so you are getting me all riled now, because it's one of my bugbears. That and squeezing toothpaste in the middle. That drives me crazy. Oh, and if you've got a shelf and there's a couple of things on it and they're not equidistant, if they're both towards one side, that drives me crazy as well. Yeah. The children learned a lot of their English because of the lack of a dishwasher. Did they learn a lot of swear words, Snark? Knives pointing downward. Yeah. And there's always a teaspoon that's gone under the rack because someone's chucked it in and it's missed. It's true, isn't it? It really is true. Got a proper beer. Nice one, Snark. Fortunately, I haven't got a beer, but I've got a Bailey's. And I quickly, after I started, I booked this, scheduled this stream. I dashed up the house to get a cup of tea, and I got myself a glass with some ice in for a very fine drink. So I'm going to have a very fine drink in a minute. Oh no. I have not got, I got CDO. I got CDO checkout guy in Adamel. CDO, it's like OCD, but the letters are in the proper order. But I'll wait for that to come through till you realise. So we had food night, and tonight is appliance night. It could be Speedy. It could be. Let's poke fun at people who, we could debunk dishwashers, couldn't we? Or we can point and laugh at this bloody idiot. We're going to in a minute. I'm literally just finishing this cup of tea. I'm very conscious now of the mic. Perhaps I ought to. That's better, isn't it? You didn't. Right. It's a whole new thing. No, we're not. It's not going to be dishwasher. Tonight is dishwasher night. Sound like Crichton, doesn't it? I just finished watching the last of the Red Dwarfs. Been going through all the Red Dwarfs again. And you know that from time to time I have been known to slip a quote or two into my videos. The last one, the Flatzoid Martian Perseverance Mars 2020 robot launch fake thingy, I slipped in a quote that nobody has noticed so far. I did chuck in a couple of gimboids and smegheads, but nobody noticed this quote or where it's from. I'm most disappointed, because when someone does notice and picks these up, I tell them they've won the internet, but no one has so far. I was surprised. Make a Mr. S drawing a pangalactic gargle blast. That sounds good. Well, Tusk, they may be. Actually, yeah, they did go down, and actually watching All Late on the Trot, it's noticeable. There was one or two really good bits, but yeah, they lost it. In a way, I felt it became like very Americanized, like for their target audience. I still enjoyed it. Mission Control, making an animation for you as you speak. Wow. Yes, that sounds very nice, Mission Control. Never watched Lex, never watched Farscape. Right, let me get my drink. I'll tell you what, this is a treat. Let's switch on the Arnie cam and you can see me go get a drink. Probably won't hear me though. I'll try shouting. I've got a fridge. I've got a cup pre-iced. And I've done got Baileys. Oh yeah. Can't be bad. Just a wee dram. Oh dear. What's the wow? What's the wow for, Martin H? And cheers. What's the wow for? What a treat. It's quite a large treat, I must admit. The foodie stream the other day. Never mind dishwashers, we need more. Talkie toasters. Oh no. Waffles? We don't want anything bready. No bready conversation. Mrs. S is a Sagittarian. She's not. I'm actually, what's it called? I forget the name of it now. Apparently we're scraping the barrel for content. Not at all, Jeff. I've got a video here, loaded up and ready to go. How dare you, sir? How very dare you? Yeah, sorry, what was I just saying? You got some for the rest of us? Yeah. Help yourself. Just pop round, Chris Darrow. Don't like bait. I've got a bit of a sweet tooth though, Bob. Sharing is caring. Well, yeah, please. Help yourself. Help yourself. Okay? I can't say fairer than that then, can I? I think we need to get on and have a look at this video. Definitely. Bailey's gives you heartburn. Your Crackle Cat's Gemini. I remember now. My star sign is Pyrex. I was a test tube baby. Right, let's see if I can queue up this video. I'll just double screen the studio. Oh wow, it's going to work first time. Yeah, Talkie Toaster from Red Dwarf. It's going to be a bready question, isn't it? No, can't we watch you get another drink again? Well, if you like. No, actually, Mondays watch Mr. Sensible go grab a drink night. Okay. Aquarium, what is she, a fish? No. Look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up this. In fact, I can load it up now. But there you go. Who's that then? Who is that? As if you can't guess. Well, it's taking a while to come through. That's the downer about this. Oh, internet news, what I think about it. They finally seem to have fixed my internet. It was supposed to be 30 meg. I was peaking around 30 meg. Minimum guarantee was 29, but I was often getting 20. I had an engineer out 5 times. And finally, they checked all the stuff in the house. They checked my router. They recabled from the house to the pole. They checked the cabinet and so on. They finally thought it was something underground, and yeah, they fixed it. Bang, 43, 44 meg. I know it's not massive, but that's nearly a 50% increase on what I got. It is. You are right, Matt Churchyard. It is the new relative density disequilibrium video from Professor Sleeping Anthony Riley Warrior Person Egg. Yes, Leaky Warrior. So I don't know if you've seen it. Can I have a 1 for seen it, a 2 for haven't seen it? Oh, it says his name at the top. Oh yeah, that's a bit of a giveaway, isn't it? Sorry guys. Yeah, so 1 for seen it, 2 for not seen it. I wonder if I can actually. No, I'm not going to muck around with the camera. Yeah, it's not much of a challenge, I know. 2 for not seen it. Two for not seen it. Are you not all subscribed to Sleeping Warrior, hanging on his every word? Well, Chris Durham is, obviously. You've been busted, Chris. Obviously, I had to for professional reasons. I'm presuming you've been watching it. Oh, General Shady as well. Why is it my mods are spending all their time listening to Anthony Riley, eh? No one else has watched it. Right. Thank you, people. Let's go and give it a go. Now, what it is, I understand, is he's actually was given a link to this video by another channel, which is going to explain it all to us, okay? So don't substitute maths or equations for experiment. Maths is only ever abstract correlation and doesn't prove causation. Experiment proves causation. Maths simply calculates the perceived effect. Now, this video, it's a little slow in places, but we'll have to bear with it.
We've understood what density is. In the same given amount of space, if there are more things, we say that it's denser. Density is simply the measure of how compact the mass in a substance or object is.
Can I just pause that there for two reasons? One, Arnold has just arrived and he's just jumping up. Let's switch on the Arnie cam for a second. Where is it? Arnold. Arnie cam. Oh, and I better switch on that window capture. Arnold, come here. Oi, he's here. Oi, come on. Show everyone. Come on. Oh, he's just flipping sat there. If I had a mirror, I could sort of show it. Come on. There we go. That's it. Be annoyed. There we go. There's an Arnold. Told you he'd come. Go on, you're going to sit down in his director's chair, director's cushion. Oh, rat, sorry, I didn't transfer it. There he goes. Yeah. All right, Arnie? You settled? Can we carry on now? Yeah? Okay. All right. Sorry about that, everyone. So we want the window capture back on, Arnie camera off, and let's give it another try. Yeah, so this thing from Sleeping Warrior, it's a children's video that he's using. Some Indian lady talking, explaining density. So the more stuff we got in a given space, more dense it is.
It's mass per unit volume. And based on this formula, we can say that its unit is kilogram per meter cubed.
Everyone got that? Kilograms per meter cubed. Thanks for teaching us these things, Tony.
So can you tell me what relative density is?
She did have to use that phrase, didn't she? That's what he's picked up on. That phrase, relative density. Oh dear.
Look at the word relative. What does it tell you? It tells us that we are looking at the density of something relative to the density of something.
And not how dense your uncle is.
We are comparing the density of one thing to the density of another. That's all. But the question is, relative to what? It's most typically the density of water. Yes, we look at the density of an object relative to the density of water.
And of course what we're talking about there is specific gravity. I could do that, Adam. Yeah, I'll muck around with that when we come back after this.
How do we define the relative density of a substance? It equals the ratio of its density to that of water.
I don't know quite what Tony thought about this bit, because of course, and I'm not a fan of maths myself, but I get a feeling that is going to tax him.
Yes, density of the substance over the density of water. Can you tell me the unit of relative density?
The Riley.
Look at the right hand side and tell me the unit.
An egg.
As it is a ratio of similar quantities, relative density will have no units. The units from the numerator and denominator cancel each other out. The density of water is 1000 kilograms per meter cubed, and the density of silver is 10,500 kilograms per meter cubed. So can you tell me the relative density of silver? It's easy. Just refer to this formula and try answering it.
Of course, I managed to get that one right. Although, oh, hello, PhD Tony. I'm sorry, mate. We got high-level Anthony Riley research on the screen right now. If you had joined in earlier on, you might have been able to follow, but now obviously it's got very complicated and you've missed the earlier steps. Good evening to you. Yeah, so I don't know if Tony managed to do that one in his head or if he got his triangle calculator out and then realised it was going to struggle with it. I don't know, but there we go. Oh, what am I doing? I just hit the record button on my OBS instead of play. Beg your pardon. Come on, lady.
It will equal the density of silver over the density of water. Substituting the values here, we get the answer as 10.5. That's the relative density of silver. What does the relative density tell us, though? What can we understand from this? First, it tells us that silver is a lot more dense than water under the given conditions.
Right, what I'll probably do is, I think I can play this a little bit quicker just to get through. But as you can see, it's basic introduction stuff for kids. This relative to that. Yeah. Now, quite how that gives us downity, I don't know. Hello, PhD Tony.
Approximately 10.5 times denser. But that's pretty obvious given the numbers. This tells us another important thing.
You see that? This is Riley's comment at the bottom. We can also do what Newton and Einstein failed to do. Explain why. Yes, you have read it there. Tony is actually comparing himself to Newton and Einstein. He does the same in comments, actually saying that he's able to do what they can't do. He thinks that his relative density disequilibrium crap busts both Newton and Einstein. Yeah.
It tells us whether the object will float or sink in water. In simple terms, a substance will sink if it's denser than the liquid it's placed in, and it will float if it's less dense than the liquid it's placed in.
This is obviously cutting-edge research for Tony, though. Oh, what's that? He says, and if we add a scientific independent variable and manipulate it, an acceleration is caused. So by adding salt, he can make it accelerate. He's going to have to add a shed load of salt to stop that lump of silver sinking. Yeah. Bit slow. Could have edited it a bit, Tony. Come on. That is playing. Blind me. Come on.
How can we say this mathematically? If the relative density of a substance is greater than 1, then it will sink, and if it's lesser than 1, it will float.
Oh, here we go. This is Tony stepping in. Direction and magnitude right there. The correct direction is more and less dense, not up and down. So, there we go. That's his answer. If a lump of something is more dense than its surrounding, then it's going to more. What the hell are you talking about, Tony? Not you, PhD Tony. Idiot Tony. Okay, PhD Tony? Because I wouldn't want you, PhD Tony, to get upset thinking that I was insulting you, PhD Tony, when in fact I'm insulting Anthony Riley Tony. Okay, Tony? Rats. So, anyway. Yeah, so direction and magnitude. Yeah, well, you got direction from what he's saying. No, have you? I don't know. You haven't got jack shit. Riley, you don't know what it is. Come on. This is sped up. Up and down are relative only to a human and are not absolute directions. Well, of course they bloody are. If that lady, let's say, her teeth fell out, they would go towards her feet, wouldn't they? Because they're denser than the air. Now, if she was standing on her head and her teeth fell out, are they going to go towards her feet, Tony? No. They're going to drop to the floor, past her eyes, past her nose, past her eyes, and land next to the top of her head, which is she stood on. So that isn't absolute direction. Oh, what are you going to tell us now? Her up is now my down. No absolute directions. Tony, you really need to take this video down. Oh, did you, PhD Tony? What a shame you didn't see this one. So what's he saying now? Without a human to perceive up and down, the only directions are more and less dense. Temperature can be up down, but we say hotter, colder. Yeah. Speed can be up down, we say faster, slower. Direction in real life is more and less dense than the medium. What bluffers think is gravity is actually referencing the medium. They don't want you talking about it. It's their kryptonite. Da da da. There you go, guys. Kryptonite. Unbelievable. This, honestly, Tony, you need to do something about this video. By the way, I will step in here and say something. Where's Wally contacted me a short while ago, and he had also seen this video, and he is planning to do this video, and I said that I was too. Why don't we both do it? Let's show it on each other's channels, that sort of thing. Now obviously tonight's stream happened, so I thought, oh, I'll do it now. So I will say, Where's Wally is, in a few days time, not sure when, he is, and I said I'd mention this, going to be doing a debunk video on this, which should take him all of 30 seconds, of course. So please keep an eye out for Where's Wally's channel for when he actually does his debunk of this. Okay, Tony, carry on. You think he'd put a bit of music in the background or something?
As the relative density of silver is 10.5, which is greater than 1, it will sink in water. But if we take the example of ice, its density is approximately 934 kilograms per meter cubed. So its relative density will be 0.934. As its relative density is lesser than 1, it will float in water. As its relative density is lesser than 1, it will float in water. As its relative density is lesser than 1, it will float in water. We can understand this with a simple diagram. Take 4 beakers filled with water. In the first one, drop a substance with a relative density of 0.1. You'll see that it floats like this. In the second one, drop a substance with relative density of 0.4 and you'll see that it floats like this. More of it is inside the water. And if it's 0.9, even more of it will be inside the water. But it will still float. And if it's greater than 1, say 1.2 or 1.3, then it will sink.
Yes, Tony. But why? Why downwards? He did say in the comments, he said that you can have a totally, because someone said, where's, it's relying on a gradient. He says it's not relying on a gradient. You can have a totally homogeneous density, pressure of air or whatever. It will still go in a particular direction. But he could not give any sort of explanation as to why that direction always happened to be straight towards the Earth. And that we got that, that rather annoying 9.8 meters per second thingy. Where does that come in? So if you've got something that's 0.1, forget this is water, but if we've got 0.1, 0.4, 0.9, 1.3, why are they all affected at 9.8 meters per second if those are 4 objects of different densities in air? Why?
Okay, here's one last question for you. Can the relative density of an object be 0? The answer is no, it can't be 0. Because if the relative density is 0, it will mean that the density of the substance is 0.
Hold on, he says it can. Light is a massless particle. Photons have no mass, but are considered particles. Right. Here's a good point, Tony. Light is affected by gravity. Light hasn't got a density, has it? Do we know about density of light? Relative density of light compared, I don't know. But light is affected by gravity. It was predicted by Einstein that light could be bent by supermassive objects such as galaxies and so on. Wasn't seen till many years later, but then eventually it was. And there are galactic, it's called galactic lensing. Light from objects beyond these galaxies and supermassive objects, the light's going out in all directions. If it's passing just to the left of and just to the right of this supermassive object, it bends, just like the orbit of something gets bent if it passes too close to a planet or whatever. And you end up seeing multiple distorted versions of that object. You can see photographs of that. I'll call some up in a minute. So, yeah, relative density, Tony, bending light. You need an explanation for that. Yeah, black
Which in turn
holes.
will mean that the mass of the substance is zero. For any given substance, its mass in a given volume cannot be zero. And you should also know that relative density is constant only under given conditions. It is pressure and temperature dependent. The same substance can have different relative densities under different pressures or temperatures.
Key fact, pressure and temperature cause acceleration too. Temperature causes acceleration. I know why you're saying this because I've seen this, but there we go. God, Tony, this is riveting editing. If a boat adds pressure, it sinks more in water. Adds pressure. Conversely, if the water increases its temperature, the boat will also sink in water. Plimsoll lines demonstrate this perfectly with laden journeys from the UK to Bahamas. If the cargo ship is overloaded in the UK, by the time it gets to Bahamas, the warm water has become less dense and the boat appears to be heavier. Relative to the denser North Atlantic waters, it was loaded in. It is now. But it wasn't. I know what you mean. Yeah, for a given load, the ship will appear to sit lower in the water in the hot climes than the cold climes. Yeah. But it's still, something's making it go down, Tony. Oh, what's he going to... I'm overheating now. Oh, sorry. Right, come on, Tony. I don't remember Tony being this bad at editing videos before. Ah, right, the deep blue sea, we got a nice submarine. Same as submarines, with a fixed volume, they can accelerate by adding seawater. If it exhausts the seawater and place it with gas, it will become less dense, not go up. Yeah, you've lowered the density overall, which means the weight of the water that submarine is displacing is now greater than the submarine. So like a pair of scales, the water goes down, submarine goes up. You take on water, the overall density of that submarine you have increased, but it's the volume you're displacing. One submarine shape over there weighing so much from metal and air and men and ballast water versus a submarine shaped quantity of water on the right or wherever, which is heavier. It's got a greater mass, so that goes down, submarine goes up. It's not bloody difficult, Tony. Not difficult at all. What a cretin. Oh, sorry, Tony, did I say that out loud? Blimey. Oh, God. Oh, it sounds like you've got wind. I'm going to mute it. I don't think... Well, there's no talking anyway. Same with hot air balloons in air. Add more less buoyant air, just warm air to us in real science, and it become less dense and accelerate. Does he not realise? No, he does realise. He knows. He's been told endless times that the buoyancy equation has a G in it for gravity. Blimey. It's mad, isn't it? Oh, and when it finds equilibrium, lateral displacement will occur by taking advantage of wind. Wind is higher pressure air moving to lower pressure air. Well, Tony, yes it is. But why haven't we got all that lovely 14.7 psi high pressure air down here not rushing up to the tops of mountains, Tony? You chuff nugget. So wind is higher pressure air moving to lower pressure air. So we can now see how relative density disequilibrium produces up, down, left and right. Well, it didn't. Even in your example, it didn't produce left and right, did it? The wind did. Or more accurately, less and more dense and lateral displacement. Does he get paid for this crap? That looks like a poem. Right. Higher pressure going to lower pressure. Is it trying to find your head, Tony? This is a beautiful bit of film, though. Absolutely stunning. I thought at first, is it a drawing, but it seems to be real film. This is relative density and forcing disequilibrium in its simplest form. Is that the Riley form? This is why things accelerate on the really is level. Look, Tony, it's just a case of gravity is trying to suck everything down, but you can only fit so much down. So which has the greater mass? That wins. In the case of that minibus, the amount of air it displaces, its mass is way, way more. So gravity is pulling on it harder. Whereas those balloons with the warm air... Oh, sorry, I better pause that. Balloons with the warm air displacing a larger amount of atmospheric, ordinary temperature and pressure air. So they don't get pulled down as much. It's as simple as that. Helium balloons, the beloved helium balloon, is going up because of gravity. Oh, I really think I need to do that, don't I? I do need to do that. 1 second. Where the hell is it? Oh, I should have been ready for that. Oh, there we go. Here you go, Tony, just for you.
Gravity, you fucking... Gravity! Have you ever heard of fucking gravity? Gravity! Gravity!
Yeah. Right, where are we? Hopefully... Oh, there's only 18 seconds, 19 seconds left. Can we stand the last sub 20 seconds? Yeah, we can. Oh, it took a bunch of flat earthers to demonstrate why things go down. But not everything. Some things go up in our medium. It's all controlled by the relationship with the medium. And what's that? I can't read what that says behind that. And what's it say? And all proven with relative density and forcing disequilibrium. No, Tony, you haven't proved anything. So if I stand at the top of one of those little cliff things and drop a hammer, can you tell me what speed it's going to fall because of its density? Can you, Tony? I think not. Oh, I need to switch off that window now. Oh, it's all very complicated, isn't it? There we go. Yeah, that's all a load of guff. Right, let's have a quick look because we've got an Arnie here soon. Still, let's put the Arnie cam on. Yeah, there he is, just down there. He spends a lot of time there, an awful lot of time. He's been a good buddy to me. Gas go down, go boom. Ah, you see, Turtle Moves, you haven't got the full equation. It's gas go down, go boom, boom. Oh, you need to study up more. Watch some more Nathan Oakley. Then you'll know exactly how it's done. Yes. Oh, just flick it. Oh. Do you know what? One thing I don't like about later versions of Windows is when you move a window, everything else closes. I don't want it closed. At least ask me, or give me some warning. First time I ever came across that, I was natural. What the hell's happened? Everything's closed down. Right, yeah, so relative density of a fleur. Why do the shoots of a flower go down through the more dense soil? Yes, absolutely right. When you see seeds sprouting, Christopher. Yeah. I better just have a quick check. 1 second, people. Okay. Oh, and how is Mr. Fight the Flat Earth doing? 547. Not bad fight. Not bad, but, if only you had chosen another time and avoided me. But there we go. Arnie is cute, George. Yeah, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. Yeah, so... Oh, I see we got a guest here. A guest we've not come across before. I'll leave you a few seconds so that you know, and I'll pull you in. Perhaps you'd like to talk about this. You can turn off the shake window focus. Can you, Kevin? Do you know what? Yeah. Oh, that's nice to know. In fact, it's not usually a problem for me. It doesn't normally happen, but when it does, you think, oh, bloody hell. But at least I know what it is, and I just give it another shake and it comes back. But the first time, I thought, where's everything gone? And it happened about 2 or 3 times, and it was when I was at work. We just upgraded versions of Windows. And I raised it, and they said, "Oh, just shake it again; it'll come back." I suppose it's quite neat in a way, but it was a bit of a shock. So, cheers, people. Let's bring in Night Sky. Hello, Night Sky Jeff. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you. My ears will blast out, so I'm just going to turn you down a bit. Try again. Let's see how you are now.
How am I now?
I'll notch you up a little, and again.
Last time.
No, that sounds good. That sounds good. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I'm not sure where you are.
I'm on the east coast of the United States.
Okay, so what was it? Early evening, very late afternoon, tea time. Hello.
Just before 5 p.m.
Ah, yes, nearly tea time then. Nice. So, yeah, I don't think I've seen you before in the chat, have I, Jeff?
No, you haven't. I'm usually busy with other things, but Kyle Adams has name dropped me to you on a number of occasions.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. So, are you saying that you're of the flat Earth persuasion?
No, I'm the opposite. I am loyal to him.
Oh, I see. I remember you're the guy who's been having discussions with him on his debate board. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm one of two regulars there, and it's not a pretty sight.
Yeah, I mean, he's pushed that board, and I suppose if people want to go on that board, that's fine. But he's pushed that board a lot, but I just really wasn't interested in getting onto it at all. Yeah.
No, it's a shame that he splits his attention between two platforms, and the debate board is one that not many people actually check. So he's actually diverting conversation away from his YouTube channel, which gets traffic, to his debate board, which doesn't get traffic.
Yeah. Well, you're the first person I've heard of who's ever gone on it. So, I mean, do I want to spend time on it arguing with one person with maybe two or three others? No. You know, if he came on here and did a video and I've done a video and then he's done a response, then obviously a lot of people see it. It's, you know, worth everyone's time. If my arguments are good, I might change a lot of people's mind or help keep a lot of people sane. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that the only benefit I get from it is, like, I'm learning more about physics and trigonometry. Like, I'm almost 40, so it's been over 20 years since I've really had math and physics education. What I do know, I'm able to apply well. And what I don't know, I go out and I learn, and I use that to rebut his memes and his bad arguments.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff. Do you mind if I call you Jeff? Is that the right?
Go right ahead.
Okay.
That is my name.
Cool. Since I've been doing this, I have learnt masses, absolutely tons, things I just would not needed to know had it not been for the fact of doing all this. So yeah, it's in many ways it's a bit pointless. How many flat earthers have had their minds changed? We know there's a couple, but that's about it. But I have learnt, and I find the learning fun. You know.
I agree. Like, I mean, I accept that we landed on the moon, so I don't go and research it very much. But when I come across a terrible meme or a terrible argument from him, which was, I think this is my favorite encounter with him. He said that of all the cameras that were brought to the moon on Apollo 11, one of them had a flash attachment. Does that mean that the moon was so dark that they needed a flash attachment?
And did they?
I investigated. I investigated the one camera that had a flash attachment.
Yeah.
And it turned out it had a flash because it was a stereo camera at one end of a tube, and the other end of the tube was placed down on the lunar surface, thus creating a very dark environment. And the camera needed a flash attachment in order to have light to take the picture.
Okay.
So I'd never known about that.
No, I've not heard of it.
Thing for me to learn.
Excuse me for having a nice drink. Yeah, I'd not heard. I mean, I did hear briefly mention of this discussion between you, but prior to that, I had never heard of it, and I never even considered it.
What upsets me the most about Kyle's approach with that particular argument about was the moon so dark we needed a flash attachment is only one of the cameras had a flash attachment. If the moon really was that dark, why didn't all the cameras have a flash attachment? And this is my main problem with him. He is critical without thinking critically. That's my problem with him.
Yeah. I don't know if he said about this squishing images with curves in. Did he tell you anything about that?
Yeah, I got into them with that. I
managed to get him to move on that, you know.
Well, see, that's the other problem. He has very poor retention because you showed him a pink basketball.
That's right.
And you scrunched it, and you showed him that when you scrunch it, you can change where what he would call like the
peak,
crest of the curve. Yeah, the peak is.
Yeah.
You showed him that, and he admitted it.
Yep.
And like a week or two later, he forgot about that information when I was having a conversation to him about the same thing.
Yeah, that's not so good. Not so good at all. Yeah, because I had done that, because I had done my mage. He had debunked it by saying the curves were wrong when you squished it. I then showed him, and he then, as you said, with the pink basketball thing, and he accepted that. But then he's, hello. By the way, just so you know, Jeff, I'm not broadcasting your camera, okay? I just put myself on
that's
here.
That's right. I just wanted you to have a face to the name and the voice.
Cool. Ugh.
I'm sorry, I didn't know it was that bad of a face.
I'm kidding, man. Oh, nice scope behind you. He's got a very nice telescope.
Yes, it is a 6-inch Newtonian on a manual equatorial mount.
Equatorial mount? That's the devil's work, that is.
Yes, it's the one that definitely shows you that the stars and the planets and the moon and the sun are going beneath the horizon. It's a terrible thing to have.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the smasher, what's the word? Slam dunks, isn't it? It's another slam dunk. There's that. There's the 2 points of stellar rotation. I've never heard a flat earther be able to properly explain that away. I've seen that explained away on the Flat Earth Society's forums as sort of gears. So it's turning like that in different directions. But, of course, that means at some point the stars are going to be moving apart. No explanation for that. That's the best I've ever heard about it. Yes.
Back before COVID, there's a college just up the street from where I live. And before COVID hit, I was taking my telescope up there maybe 2 or 3 nights a week when the skies were good to give college students an opportunity to look at the night sky through a telescope free of charge. Because a lot of them, first of all, 90% of them said yes. And most of the ones who looked through the telescope were amazed at what they saw. And a lot of them were like, I haven't looked through a telescope since I was a kid. And I also belong to a local amateur astronomers club. Amateur astronomers club.
That's easy
so
for
that's
you
why
to
I'm
say.
very interested. I'm very interested in outreach and education about astronomy in general, which I think makes me a pretty good opponent for a lot of these anti-astronomy flat Earth arguments.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I do apologise. A little distracted. Good evening, Gary Wybenga. Yeah. Yes, someone's also asked me to
say I don't have the YouTube chat open, so if people are directing questions at me, you would probably have to raise that to my attention. I don't think anybody's going to ask me a question. I'm not very well known on YouTube. I have a channel, but I don't make videos often. I don't promote it.
So if anyone wants to ask Night Sky Jeff, and Jeff, just say thank you very much for just dropping in. Appreciate it. It's always nice to talk to someone new with some knowledge, and then having that connection with Kyle as well. That's just an added bonus. Someone's asked me to point out, because I don't know if you're aware, he calls himself Professor.
Yes.
I've talked to him and he sort of said, oh, well, you're very polite, we get on well. And I said, yeah, but the one thing that really grinds my gears is him claiming that title, because he professes things, because that's what the dictionary says. A professor is a professor, professes things. He professes things, therefore he's a professor. Well, I profess that this glass of Bailey's is rather nice. That does not make me a professor. Yes, but there was something someone wanted me to say. Let me just go back a bit. Oh, yes, his degree. Has he told you what his degree is?
I watched whatever video it was months ago where he says what it is. It's like it's a liberal degree in science with a concentration in art.
It's a
But like,
bachelor's. It's a bachelor's. It's a Bachelor of Science in Art. So it's not a
And-
science degree at all. It's an art degree, which I'm not knocking in itself, but it's not science.
but what upsets me is that, like, if he has an art degree, like, why are the illustrations he makes so piss poor?
I've not seen so many of them. Oh dear.
They're not good.
Not good. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh dear. And I just thought of something. I did say I was going to. Do you know? I can't type and think at the same time. Yes, I did mean that. Right. Let me drag that into a new window. I'm just going to open up the window capture thing again. Will that get that? Come on. No. Flipping thing. I wonder if I refresh it, will that do it? No. Just want to pick up the right thing, because what I've done is I've just called up stuff about, there we go. Resize it. I hate doing all this stuff on the fly. I'm a lot better than I used to be, but get it wrong and you really screw up. There we go. It's coming in. Galactic lensing, Mr. Riley, if you're still looking, and I'm sure Jeff, you'll know what it is. Well, let's have a look.
A special case of gravitational lensing where it's an entire galaxy
Gravitational
is
lensing,
bending
yes.
the light.
Yes, so let's have a view of this one. Yeah, so a nice image there. You can see these sort of elongated. You can see it's almost like there's a ball lens in front of it, so it's all distorted. That's not the best photo though. Let me just. I realise you can't see it yet, or maybe you can't see it at all. Oh, this is another good one. View image. There we go.
I can see it because I'm watching the.
You're watching
Discord.
YouTube. Okay. Oh, of course, yes. So, yeah. So we got some. What's the word? Something with a massive gravitational effect, and round here, this distorted halo is actually an image of a galaxy or something that's some massive distance beyond, where the light is actually being bent around the gravitational object in between. That's galactic lensing. Sure, because I actually had a look at quite a few of them recently. Some are a lot better than others.
There's a few rare circumstances where you basically get a mirror image. You get the same object behind the massive object. You get it twice.
Yes. Here's another one. Let's zoom in a bit. Again, these long smears, they're not long smears. It's light that's basically distorted from some point further away. The light was going to be coming past, but it's been bent. Think of something flying past the Earth, but it's come close enough that the gravitational pull of Earth bends it slightly. And that's exactly what a galaxy or some other supermassive object has done to light from behind. Because if someone hasn't come across this concept before, I know it's getting a bit blurry. So we've got a galaxy here with light going out in all directions, some coming sort of towards us, and we've got a supermassive object in the middle. What's it say? An intermittent galaxy. But the light curves round both sides, so we'll actually see that galaxy distorted twice or more times, or smeared all around that object in a halo. So, Mr. Anthony Egg Riley, your relative density disequilibrium crap has got to come up with at least some lame, half-arsed explanation for how that can happen. Because I can't think of another way. Can you, Jeff?
No.
And of course, it was predicted years before it was ever seen.
And I mean, our own sun does gravitational lensing based on the fact that certain stars were
Yes.
out of position
Yes.
during the total solar eclipse back in like 1917, 1920, something along those
Yes,
lines.
you're absolutely right, because wasn't that the original proof of concept? But now later we've been able to show it with galaxies and so on. You're right. I'd forgotten about that.
Right.
Yeah.
That was testing. Testing Einstein's theory, essentially, that gravity can affect light, which
Yes.
is massless.
Yes. I'll just. Oh, that's an animation. This is the one, isn't it? This perfect one.
That is the one I was thinking of, the
Einstein.
one with
Is
the
it Einstein's
four-
cross or something? It's called. Yeah. So there's your supermassive object, and those four images are all the same object from some distance behind. They've been bent round. So light paths going in all different directions, but they're bent round so we can see it in 4 different positions. Absolutely beautiful. Although it is
But
slightly,
Mr. Sensible, don't you know that totally destroys the heliocentric globe model, because this means we can't trust our eyes?
I'm also a little concerned because it is slightly egg-shaped. Don't tell Riley. Oh man.
With the yolk in the center.
Yes, with the
definitely.
yolk in the centre. And this is just the remnants of the shell. Oh dear. Perhaps he could use that as some sort of evidence for it. I don't know. Oh, better turn off that wing capture. Yes.
All
Yeah.
right. Thank you for having me on.
Oh,
I
no,
have
my pleasure.
dinner to make.
What
So
we
maybe
got
I'll hop
tonight?
in again sometime.
What have we got tonight, Jeff?
Tonight I am making pork chops in a sweet chili onion sauce
Ooh.
with broccoli and fried potatoes.
Yeah, we'll leave out the broccoli. The rest I'll go for, though. Listen, Jeff, you're very, very welcome. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to have you come on here sometime. It'd be nice to chat some more. Perhaps, because Kyle's been on here about 3, maybe 4 times, so he knows that he's not going to just kind of come on here and get abused and shouted and stuff like that, and not be funny, chatting to you for 5 minutes. You're obviously a reasonable guy as well. Maybe the 3 of us can have a chat and go through some of this stuff.
I would appreciate that. I wouldn't want it to seem like a 2-on-1 situation,
no.
but I am rather civil with him. So
Yeah. Well, it is a 2-on-1, but he knows that, and he can trust that it would be fair here. Yeah, he knows that you're going to say he's wrong. I'm going to say he's wrong, but it's not 2 people shouting him down or anything, is it? So
correct.
perhaps you can sound him out about it. See if he's up for that.
I'll let him know.
Yeah.
I'll see if he's interested.
And you can always either email me. My email address is always in the description, or hop onto my Discord and drop me a direct message.
And I will have a 1-minute debunk video for you in the near future.
Nice. Yes. Thanks for the reminder as well, Jeff. If anyone hasn't done one or wasn't aware, this will be the 3rd time I'll have done a 1-minute debunk show. It's open to... Oh, Jeff, your video's just gone off. I don't know if you are still there.
Yeah, I'm just getting ready to leave.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, I will say thank you very much. Please, please, please get in contact with Kyle, and please, with Kyle or not, come back again, okay? You're very welcome.
Absolutely. Good night.
Okay, good night. Yes, so anyone, please feel free to do a 1-minute debunk video. It can be on anything. It doesn't have to be Flat Earth, but I just want to avoid politics. I do have strong political views, and for me, I'm quite happy to sit, chat, and even live with someone with diametrically opposed political views, but I keep away from it on my channel because obviously people can get upset, and I'm not criticising, but they do. So anything apart from politics. You do not have to have flashy editing software. You can, if you want, you can put in animations, you can use hand-drawn images, you can appear on cam, you don't have to appear on cam. You can even do it with your phone, it doesn't matter. You can either upload it to a YouTube channel, keeping it unlisted so no one else sees it, and just give me the link, or we can arrange to transfer it to me via something or other, and then we'll show it on the channel. We'll do a live stream with 1-minute debunks. Everyone whose videos get shown gets a link back or a credit to them, whichever they and however they prefer. And then, of course, at that point, I suggest you then make the videos visible. We want to keep them secret beforehand. Open to anyone, please. just have a think about it. You don't have to have a channel. You don't have to have ever made a video before. It's all for fun. Nothing critical of the quality of anyone's video. That's not where we're going. We're looking for interesting, fun, novel debunks of flat Earth conspiracies and things. So look forward to that. I saw a message. Please recommend Kyle watch my video. Tony, I haven't actually spoken to Kyle for a little while. Not since he last came, or about a day or two after he last came on here. But that would be good with Night Sky Jeff to do a discussion with him. Yeah, have you not got his contact details, Tony? I think they're on his video. Or has he got you blocked due to knowledge and logic? Which is why he still speaks to me, of course. Yeah. Oh, pixel domination. Have you stamped on someone by accident? It happens. If that's the case, it happens time to time. I've done it before myself. You're just about to mute or whatever someone's comment, just as it jumps up, and you do it to someone else. So if that happens, apologies to people. Got a couple more. Where are we for time? 12 minutes past 10. I'm all right to go for a little while. This was impromptu because we've got a couple of people in the live waiting room. Let's bring them in. Actually, it's a 30-second warning, people. I'll bring you in a second. And we'll see what's what. Yeah, Kyle Adams, bless him. I still sometimes wonder about him. You know, I like him I think he's a nice guy. Others have said that he's, he knows what he's saying. He's being disingenuous. I find it hard to tell. If I knew 100% that he was lying, I would call him out on it. But for now, I'm happy to talk to him. Yes, it's entertainment. If he genuinely holds views in error, then it is a chance to go through these thoughts. We know he moved, even if he forgot, we know he moved about that peak of the curve, as myself and Jeff were just talking about. And I was really pleased about that, the fact that we'd had a discussion. You know, he'd put forward a view, that's absolutely fine, but he looked... Oh, thanks, Keela, see you soon. He looked at the arguments I put forward and then said, yeah, you're right. And that's all you want, isn't it? That really is. Okay, guys, I'm going to bring you in. I have, and I hope I say this right, we've got Lyle. Is that how you say it, Lyle? Hello, Lyle.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello.
I'm here.
I can hear you. Let me just check your volume. Just say something else.
Oh, hello, hello.
I'm just going to knock you up a tiny bit. Yeah, I remember from you were on the last stream, weren't you? Your sound. I mean, it's fine. You're audible and you can make out what you're saying, but it sounds like you're talking through a tube or something.
I got a little cheap $30 mic. And I don't know. Mic that I always buy, it sounds the same, so I'm not going to keep wasting money.
Okay, right. And I'm also going to bring in Jord. Hello, Jord.
Hello.
Now you're gone the other way. I'm going to turn you down a little bit. Good evening to you, Jordan. You all right?
Sorry about that. I can actually turn my settings down.
No.
I was messing with it because it wasn't showing up at first because Discord is ran on a potato with one singular copper wire sticking down a bit.
Don't change it your end. I'll adjust it my end because
okay.
That's all balanced. Because otherwise, if you do it, it's going to knock it out again. Yep, we're all good to go. So good evening, guys. How are you two?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Mr. Sensible?
Not so bad. As I said, this was an unexpected stream. I don't know, because people may not have been at the start of this stream. I was supposed to be being interviewed tonight by a chap called Alien X Gaming. And,
yeah, I've actually... Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it didn't turn up. And I'm just checking the Discord. The last message between the two of us was me at 8:15 saying, not happening then, lol. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not still sitting there waiting.
Yeah, that's kind of strange. I've actually really enjoyed Alien X's get to know your YouTuber interviews. They're really great because I have sat down and spoken to a bunch of the people he's interviewed, but it's still he asks questions that I would have never even thought to ask. Like one question I did have though, I don't know if you saw it in the live chat, is what kind of color blindness do you have, Mr. Simpson?
Oh right, no, I missed that. It was probably the wrong colour text on the back. Yeah, I've got slight, and it is slight, red-green colour blindness.
Same, exact same.
Yeah, well, it's the most common, and it's most common in males. Generally, it's not a problem, but for instance, trying to tweak whatever they call those different settings regarding the colours. Here, I could make myself look a little too orange. People said I looked a little green. I can't see that. And then the first thing people say is, "Oh, what colour's this then?" I said, "Well, it's red." "Oh, well, what colour's that?" "It was green." "Well, I thought you were colourblind to red and green." They don't get it,
Right. Like, I remember the first time I ever found out that I had any type of color blindness was there's this meme going around that it's a colorblind test, and apparently it says we must rise up against the colorblind. And a buddy of mine sent that to me, and he was like, this is because we just send memes back and forth. And I was like, that's just a dot with a bunch of smaller dots in it. And he was like, no, it says something. And I ended up going to a doctor, and he was like, yeah, you're kind of colorblind a little bit.
You can and if anyone's not done it, you can do tests online, and they're very effective. It's just an arrangement of dots, and most of the time you'll see, oh, there's a number 2 in there, there's a number 7. What the hell's that? I can't make it out. Or even I can definitely see it's number 8, and everyone else can definitely see it's number 4. It's really quite interesting. So for those people who don't really understand what colourblindness is, do the colourblind. I'm not saying you are colourblind, but do the colourblind test, and you'll realise what other people. Other people see something different than you. And in fact, if you get one of those translucent coloured sheets and hold it over on certain ones, depending on the colours, you'll suddenly see something else.
Oh, like those old decoder rings that were they rings?
For little computer games, donkeys years ago. Yes, I'd forgotten about those.
Yeah, I used to. Those were my favorite thing to do when recess was inside in school. So I'm pulling way back memories out of my head for that one.
Biggest Doggers says, a good question from Mr. Sensible. Have you ever wondered how you get triangles from a cow? No, I think is the answer to
that. I have never wondered about the geometry of a cow's innards, honestly.
No. As long as there's enough to eat, that's all I'm worried about.
Right.
So Lyle, sorry, you're not getting a word in here, chap.
It's fine. I'm just listening. I am looking over your balloon thing, and the thing that's confusing to me is I created a list, and I think I showed it to you, of the atmospheric pressure based off every quarter mile, and I can't determine, like, you have a temperature of 13.1.
So sorry, did I send you the data? I did, yes. I knew I sent. I do apologise. I know I sent someone the Mage telemetry data recently. I just couldn't remember who. Sorry. So there's a query with the data.
I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I'm just kind of confused a little bit. ATLM, is that altitude in meters, or what is that?
Altitude in meters. There is a README file in there that explains every column, but yeah, that's altitude. ALT brackets M or space M is altitude in meters, and then there's another one for the maximum altitude.
Why the difference between those two? Why do you need both of those?
Because there's the raw file which just has altitude. When I was doing the graphic overlays, I wanted to show two figures. I wanted both to go up, so 100 meters 12,000 meters, whatever. And when it reached the peak and started coming back down, I didn't want both sets of numbers to come down. I wanted one to lock. So all I did was I mirrored that column, so that the values go up and down. But then I found the highest one in that column, deleted everything else below it in that column, and just repeated that one. So it basically, I forget what it is, 38 kilometres. So it would be going, 5, 10, 15, 30 kilometres, 38 kilometres, and then I would lock it. So every other row below that would say 38 kilometres. Just so, because that is feeding the software that generated the graphical overlays. Am I making sense? I might not be.
Yeah, you are.
It's literally just to make values as a feed for that software. But honestly,
the only reason I'm interested is I'm trying to use a mathematical formula to determine and match your. So I'm taking your temperatures and your pressure and trying to determine the height by the pressure to see if those numbers match by math.
Right. Well, with the temperatures, it would appear that either the temperature sensor was slightly inaccurate, or it got overwarmed. Perhaps sunlight was getting to it or something. Because, and I will give him credit for this, Brian's logic, when he tried to debunk it, he didn't debunk Mage or the curve, but he did point out that the temperatures were too high at its peak, and they were. So I'm not sure if they were too high all the way up and down, or if I don't know, the heat of the sun managed to affect it more. I don't know. But the temperatures I wouldn't hold so much store in. But the temperatures was a freebie because it's a dual sensor. I wanted the pressure, I got the temperature as well. So I'm not going to complain about that.
I don't know. I just wanted to see with math how, obviously with math I can figure out like exact temperature as it equates to that height or altitude, and I could provide more with math. I could provide more decimal places than your sensor would probably read, right?
I suppose so.
I don't know how many decimal places out your sensor can actually read.
Well, if you have a look at the raw file, that is as it supplied us. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay, so 12.1 could actually be 12.09 rounded up.
It could be.
Or whatever, I don't know. I'm just guessing.
But again, in the README file, there's the name of the sensor, so you could always look that up and find out what data it can produce, what the sensitivity is.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to try to compare. I'm not saying yours is wrong by any means.
No, I know, and if it is, but what I'm saying is that the README file does explain all the columns and the manipulations that I did to enable it to then generate the overlay data, and it does list the equipment. So if you have a query over the actual sensor, have a look it up, pull up its specs, find out what it's capable of, and maybe that will help. That's all. Mr. X, Mr. Y, you don't leave Baileys in the fridge, drink it.
Glad you did this. I mean, you didn't really have to do it. You already knew that temperature dropped as you went up in altitude.
Yes, but I wasn't fully aware of the way the temperature rose again, because I've never had to look into anything like that before, So as I was saying with Jeff, he said how much he's learnt. I've learnt as well. I learnt about that,
What's also interesting is at some points in time the pressure actually goes up too the higher you go. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't notice that. What's that? I know right at the burst point that there was one pressure reading that was in error, and we know it is in error because I don't know, you're sort of 300 pascals, 299 pascals, 37,000 pascals, 299 pascals, whatever. It was at the time of the burst. Whether it actually got a a shock wave or what. There was one misread, literally one entry. So all I did was I took the entry before and just duplicated it. So otherwise it screwed everything up, and it was an obvious misread. And I'm open about it. Even in the README that I supply with the telemetry data, which is available to anyone, I openly put in there that's what I did.
I'd like to apologize for ducking out like that. I had to go deal with my dogs, but now I'm back. Hi, guys.
Yeah, no worries. We've just been having a nice chat about the mage telemetry data.
Yeah, something that it's probably best that I was gone for that, because I have absolutely no idea what any of that means.
Haven't you seen mage?
I know what mage is, I just don't know what telemetry data
is. All that is, no, that's fine. All that is, that's the data that was broadcast by mage. So it's things like GPS position, air pressure, altitude, temperature. So that's telemetry. It's the same sort of thing like from the Mars robot. All that data that's coming back, that's giving all its readings, that's telemetry. That's all it is.
Okay. So I was sitting here thinking like telemetry was like something I don't even know. I just thought it was a super technical term that
no.
Well, I don't know. Yeah,
but I'm glad I sounded cleverer than I am. Anyway. Yeah, sorry. Carry on.
You said earlier you had someone new who had something to add to the conversation, and you always liked that. Well, I hope you enjoy having somebody old who just likes to sit here and listen.
Actually, the funny thing is, I'm not a sociable person. In real life, I don't go looking for people and going up to people and just chatting to them in a pub. I don't do that. But something about this I really like. I don't know, maybe it's the subject matter, who knows. But Mrs. S can't believe it. I speak to people all around the world.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I'm a really antisocial person, but when I actually got in this community and started talking to people, because I used to be just a lurker, I'd watch FTFE and Simon Dan. I'd never comment. I'd never like and subscribe. But then one day I spoke to MC Toon, and then I've been speaking to you, FTFE, Team Skeptic, all you guys, and it's just crazy to some of the people. I'm like, yeah, I got to play D&D. I have to play D&D with this guy who's in Great Britain on a YouTube channel that he has 45,000 subscribers on, and people are just like, do you have any real friends though?
But I mean, I have only met one person that I've got to know through YouTube, and that was Creaky Blinder. And no, we got on like a house on fire. We really got on well. And that was really, really nice. Of course, we got all the COVID thing and the lockdown. Otherwise, beg your pardon. Well, there's also Q, the person who stepped forward and helped me with Mage. I got to know him quite well in real life. Again, a really nice guy. But do you think the people we're talking with, they're either going to be flat earthers or globers? The globers, pretty much are going to be agreeing with you and have an interest in this sort of stuff. It's not just Joe blogs off the street. It's someone else who thinks science is good and stupidity is bad, and it should be dealt with and pointed out and laughed at, if nothing else. So you've got a lot in common with the rest of us straight away.
Right.
Something else that I'm having a hard time with Mage understanding. Do you have a bunch of different readings from 38,736 meters that show the temperature, or the not the temperature, but the pascals going way higher?
Yeah, just on one reading.
Yeah, like from 265 all the way back up to like 100,000. That's a big difference in pascals.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking for it now.
It starts at line 1524.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to find my telemetry data. That's Mage Rage. Where the hell?
okay.
Project Mage. Telemetry data. So which file are you looking at? Are you looking at cheese processed or cheese raw?
Cheese processed.
Okay. Right, so which
if
row?
You look at 1524.
Row 1524. Nearly there. Oh, yeah, 1524 I've got highlighted.
Yes.
And it's
So
1520. 1525's got the red blotch in. That's I put in as 265 to mimic the entry before.
All right. So if you look at
The Pascals.
the max altitude there.
38736.
Keeps
Yeah.
going down. The altitude stays exactly the same, but the pressure goes up. I don't understand that.
The altitude. Yeah. That's what I'm telling you about. That column D. Sorry, people. Just excuse us for a second. That column D. Look at, say, row 1520. You've got 38609, 38634. These are heights in meters. 38659, 38711, 38736. That's the highest it got to. So I then locked it by then repeating that value the rest of the way down, so that the software which takes this data and overlaid it on the video, that's the maximum altitude column. So it's going up 659, 38711, 38736. That's the maximum. It's got to show that value from now on. Yeah.
Yes. But
So-
I'm
so
wondering
that-
why the pressure starts at 265, and at the same altitude you have multiple different pressures going all the way up to 100,000. I don't understand that.
Because the pressure is going up. The Mage is coming back down. Column C shows the real height. Okay, so on row 1524 it's the same as the max height. Row 125 it's dropped by 10 meters, but the maximum's still the same. The maximum will never change from now on, because that's the maximum height it reached. Then it's 38293 meters, but of course as it's coming down, the pressure in column G, the atmospheric pressure is going up. Keep following column C down, all the way down. That will reach whatever it is, in effect 0 meters, and the pressure in G should be about 100,000.
So did you kind of start over and over again? Because I see the raising in the altitude meters and then dropping and then raising and dropping and raising and dropping.
No, the altitude meters isn't. I tell you what.
Yeah. Look at 1526 and 1527. That's 6 meters.
I tell you what. Sorry, 1526, 1527. Did you say?
There's 3 meters or 6 meters difference, and 1527 is actually higher than 1520.
Right. Sorry, 15. Right.
Oh, yeah, it is higher.
So I'm looking at which one? Row 1526.
Yes.
Right. Is 38293.
Oh, never mind. I was looking at the last little bit, last 3 digits, and not paying attention to the first couple.
Will this be included in Mage Rage, Mr. Simpson?
Maybe it should be.
I'm not mad or anything. I'm just
No.
curious. Why
Look, I'm teasing. Look, it's my data, and if you have a question over it, either to challenge it, query it, or whatever, I'm more than happy. Okay, I'm more than happy. That's why I let people look at the data. Okay, so yeah, if you have any queries with it,
the data is my problem.
Sorry.
I just said I misread the data is my problem.
That's fine. That's not a problem. Not a problem, pal. Not a problem at all. I see I've got a super chat. Let me just refresh so I make sure I can see it properly. From Second Best Bob. Thanks, Bob. Saying...
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah. For £5. Thank you, Bob. I must sadly admit to trolling Globebusters. I'm sadly admit to trolling. Globebusters ignored my questions and think Mars is fake. I give up. Love you, Mr. Sensible. Well, thank you, Bob.
It's just a light in the sky, don't you know? I mean,
yeah, but like I said in my video, it's a light in the sky that's got polar caps that shrink and grow. It rotates. It has dust storms. That's some light.
Yeah. It's the only light I know that I can zoom in on and see mountains. So.
Oh, the moon.
Well, if you want to claim the moon is a light in the sky, then I guess there's two lights with mountains.
Well, yeah, they also claim it's a hologram, don't they?
Oh God.
Quite what that's projected on, I don't know. And how you can have a hologram with shadows that grow and move, shadows of the mountains across craters and so on. And of course, when it moves in front of the sun and you get an eclipse, which a hologram can't do, you also get Bailey's beads, which is the sun shining between the mountains through the valleys and that on the edge with a total eclipse. And you get that beautiful diamond ring then. These are total idiots we're talking about. You know, the common clay. Idiots.
Look, man, among most people that I speak to, I would be considered below average intelligence. Like, I like to think of myself as being pretty smart. I'm more into English and literature than I am science, but whenever I feel stupid, I just remember, hey, at least you're not a flat earther.
Yes.
At least you're not that.
I mean, the lowest of us always have that bar to show that we're above, don't we?
Right. Like, and I don't really enjoy making fun of them as much as I just enjoy laughing at the stupid things they do.
I would rather, like we seem to be getting that way with Kyle, I'd rather be talking to them and have them, oh, do you know what, I'll look into that, or I understand, or accept I was wrong. That's great. I've just brought in someone else, the checkout guy. Good evening to you, checkout.
Whoa, mate. I didn't even know I was in there.
Ah, magic.
Are you there?
You're live on Mr. Sensible.
Holy mother. How are you doing?
Not so bad, not so bad. You're a new name. You've not been on the stream before, and I've not even seen your name before in the side chat. Have you come onto my Discord in error and suddenly you found yourself live?
No, it's a surprise I'm live, I'll be honest with you there. But no, I've just got this new channel going, the checkout guy, and I was actually wanting to ask you a question.
Is it a channel all about, you know, like Tesco checkout and beep beep
No.
beep? No. Okay. I wanted to make sure first because that's not really what I'm into. But go on, go ahead.
No, it's going to check out some things. The question I wanted to ask you was, I mean, personally, flat Earth is a load of crap. And it's pretty much been debunked till kingdom come. Do you really think it's like worth having any like new channels debunking, or do you think you've done it enough?
What do you mean? If you were thinking or planning to do it, is it worth you?
I mean, I've got a few ideas for doing some stuff and what have you, things that haven't been done before. Well, I'm not aware of them being done anyway. I've seen loads of videos, but I was wondering, you know, would it really be worth investing the time when it's pretty much a dead duck anyway?
Christopher Bell, thank you for noticing that quote. Appreciate that. But do you know what? And actually, what's the best thing to call you?
John.
Okay. John, when I started, I thought I wish I'd started this 2 years, 3 years before, because it's nearly dead. And it's true, things have quietened down even over the last year a lot. But then new people pop up, like that Flatzoid FE. Where did he come from? 3 or 4 months ago, I'd never heard of him, and now he's really spurting out derp.
Yeah, I mean, the guy is a complete moron. I mean, not two ways about it.
We have been smashing them. These people, so many channels. Excuse me, I've. Sorry.
You have. I mean, your mage. I mean, I saw your mage stuff. I thought it was fantastic.
It was fun.
I mean, this is like a new channel. I mean, I've been following Flat Earth for about 5-6 years now.
Yeah.
On and off, and it's like you say, there are a lot of new people come onto the scene, but a lot of the old ones are, you know, still kind of going, but they're kind of in the background now. You got like the Nathan Oakleys of the era. God, I mean, what a dickhead he is.
It does kind of seem like the old Flat Earth guard is rotating out. I mean, we still got, like you said, Nathan Oakley. We've got Bob from Globebusters, and
you know what?
Always Quantum Eraser. They'll always be putting out the dirt, but some of the big names like
Jeranism and stuff like that. Yeah, they're gone. They're gone, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're just sitting on BitChute. I was going to say, I've got the way I work is I've got a bookmark folder, and a new Flat Earth channel or someone interesting. I'll chuck them in there, and I think, right, I want to make a video. What am I going to do? Open all bookmarks. It's high IQ research, and I don't know, 50 or 60 tabs open, and I just start going through. Nothing new. Oh, no, that's boring, and work my way through. Lately, I reckon I've had to delete about 15% of them because their channels have gone. They've either been booted or just no content. They're just gone, which is quite sad from the point of view of making content, but it's quite positive in that myself, to whatever extent, Fight, Team, Bob Science Guy, and all the others, we've done a good job, and a lot of these have been smashed. And then a lot of them are turning to things like COVID and anti-vax because they're not getting anywhere with Flat Earth. And then they're sort of getting into the sort of area where they start getting strikes and warnings and then bannings. Flat Earth, yeah, it's not good, but it's generally, I hesitate to say this, but it's generally pretty harmless. You hear about somebody who's a Flat Earther, you just laugh at them. COVID deniers, anti-vaxxers and things like that, people get hurt because of that.
Yeah, they're anti-vaxxers especially, I mean, very, very dangerous people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even understand why they don't even look.
I will be honest.
It amazed me. Yeah, I come up with a little quote. Do you want it?
Go ahead.
There's no one more asleep than those who think they're woke.
Yeah. The woke aren't very, are they?
Not really. No, I mean they are like so fast asleep. You know, you probably walk into the street and get run down by a bus. That's how asleep they are. I feel sorry for them, really.
But is it worth doing a channel? I mean, I think you need to find something that's you. The best bit of advice I got, John, I started my channel, but the best bit of advice I got was do what you want to do. Because I'll tell you what, I put out a video and I'll get someone saying, that's the best video you've ever done, and do more like that. Other people will, they're pretty good. And then you'll get one or two say, that's awful, never do that again, or I'm unsubbing or whatever. You cannot please everyone all the time.
That's all right.
So
I get that.
if you're doing what you enjoy doing, then at least that's going to show, that it's not, oh yeah, it's flat. That's rubbish. That's not evidence. It's just boring. You need to have some sort of passion for it, and then some people aren't going to like it. Fair enough. That's fine. When people said I'm unsubbing because, or just making some negative comment and I'm not going to watch you again or whatever. Okay, well thanks very much anyway. Without being sarcastic. I hope you find something you want to watch. That's great.
Right.
But the one thing that's been pissing me off recently is I've been seeing a lot of Rob Skeever's videos and other people, and they're going on about 666 and 66.6 and the angle of the Earth's axis and stuff like that. And I'm like, are you joking?
No, they're not joking. Not joking at all.
Here's the thing. If you think about it, I mean, they do it. I saw one guy doing civil twilight, astronomical twilight, and just and he's going like 6, 12, and 18 degrees, and he's getting like 18, 6, 6, 6. I'm like, you guys are fucking sorry. Guys are moron.
Yeah, but some people do hold a lot of store in these numbers. There is someone, I haven't seen him around. He does bug certain channels. He doesn't tend to bug me. Everything is down to the number 33.
33 UC, God.
That's the one. That's the chap.
McGoon. Hey, McGoon. What if I jump in a hole that's cut through the earth? Will I fall all the way through, McGoon? McGoon.
Guys, I got two things really quick.
Yeah.
I think the funniest debate that MC Toon has had in a long time is a guy that his name was Jason, and he said hey, get your crayons out so I can and draw it for me so I can understand. I thought that was really funny. But second thing, Mr. Sensible, you were talking about talking to Kyle.
Yeah, just 1 second. Just say second best, Bob. Thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you for joining me tonight. You have a good one. Catch you soon. Yeah, talking about Kyle.
Okay, so I know you're probably not a very religious person, but
no.
he's of the same faith I am.
Yep.
So, and I know you may not believe this quote, but this quote is very important. I posted it in general chat.
Let me just have a quick look. Yeah, with religion, I am very definitely not religion. My personal view is there is no evidence to substantiate that. Any religion. However, I am totally cool with people being religious if that's what they want to do, and I genuinely have no problem with that. You know, obviously, I think they're wrong, but then they think I'm wrong, so it's 6 1 half dozen the other. But as long as someone's religion doesn't affect me, you know, for instance, let's say you and others of your religion or similar religions campaigned, some law gets in place which hampers my way of life, then I have a problem with it. But other than that, I don't have a problem. So, I mean, I know plenty of people and commented with lots of people who are religious. That to me is not a problem. I don't agree with it, but that, you know, with them, sorry, but that's not a problem. Sorry, the quote in general you said. Let me just. Sorry, I've got this little video popped up. Right.
I have in bold text the main part of the quote that's very important for Kyle, especially for Kyle.
Can I read that bit? Are you okay with me reading that bit out?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So I'm not sure whereabouts this comes from, but it says, "That is the great secret. If the veil were rent today and the great God who holds this world in its orbit and who upholds all worlds and all things by his power was to make himself visible, I say if you were to see him today, you would see him like a man in form, like yourselves, in all the person image and very form as a man." Yeah. See, I mean...
So the main point there is that he holds this planet in its orbit. It means Joseph Smith himself, it comes from the words of Joseph Smith, the teachings of Joseph Smith, lectures on faith, history of the church, different books published by the church. The main point is that Joseph Smith himself believed that the planet orbits, not that it was stationary.
Oh, I see. I got you.
It wasn't the rest of the quote. I mean, the rest of it was important for the whole context of the quote, but for Kyle in particular, that God holds this world in its orbit by his power.
That's interesting. So I wonder, does he just hand wave that away? Now, obviously, to me, you know, whether it's from the Bible or from Joseph Smith or word that was given to Joseph Smith, I'm not going to comment, criticise or anything, but whatever. Is Kyle then ignoring what is part of his religion because that's inconvenient to his other beliefs?
Yes.
Right.
In fact, there was a talk given by Spencer W. Kimball
in
1978, where he specifically talks about flat earthers, and he said it is a fact that the earth is a sphere, and if everyone on earth believed it was flat, it wouldn't change that absolute truth that the earth is a sphere. And Kyle hand waves that away, saying, well, the prophet can hold his own opinion.
Yeah. See, like I said, I'm not going. I actually do find the whole thing about religion quite interesting, and I'm quite interested in all the arguments about young Earth versus old Earth creationists versus Big Bang and the scientific explanation. I do find it all interesting. I don't know. Have you ever watched Thunderfoot's Why Do People Laugh at Creationists?
Oh, brilliant series.
No, I have not.
Really? I tell you...
I'm kind of it's going to sound weird. I'm both an old Earth and a young Earth.
Well, I think you should have a look at it. Just in case you're unaware, Thunderfoot, as part of that, this Muslim guy actually doxed him. His name is Phil Mason. it's widely known now, and he's a nuclear physicist. He is an extremely clever guy, and he started this series years ago. Why do people laugh at creationists? And he points out silly in that. I mean, there was one guy, I can't remember the guy's name, who believed dragons were real, but they all died out because their nostrils were too small, and when they breathed, they basically set fire to them. Oh goodness, all sorts of crap. And there's some ongoing. Oh right, Bob. I don't know. Let me just turn me down a bit. I've got a couple of sound issues here. I'll just knock me down a little bit because Lyle was loud and then quiet, and I've upped Lyle again. Lyle, don't adjust your sound. I've been tinkering with it, trying to get yours equal to mine. So people, let me know if any of the guests are dreadfully loud or dreadfully quiet, and I'll adjust them a bit. Yeah, Martin H, go get your cup of coffee. That's all right.
So my position is this, and this is going to sound kind of weird, but one of the things Joseph Smith actually taught is that God took matter and organized it into this earth. Now, what exactly was that matter? Could it have been planets broken up and remodeled into proportions of this planet? He also taught that. And so for me to limit the earth to only 6,000 years, the earth itself to only 6,000 years, I can't do that.
Well, for me, the best argument... Sorry, I'm adjusting my volume. The best argument for me against young Earth creation, leaving aside all the stuff about dinosaurs and fossils and all of that, is that above my shoulder, seeing things, astronomical objects. Well, I mean, like the nearest galaxy, Andromeda Galaxy, 2.2 million light years away. Therefore, what we are seeing is it's light that has been travelling for 2.2 million years to get here. So how can that equate with a universe or a planet that's 6,000 years old? I'm not expecting you to answer, and I'm not trying to have an argument or anything like that with you, but that's one of the big things for me, because if the universe was only 6,000 years old, it can only be 6,000, have a radius of 6,000 light years if we are in the centre of it.
Oh yeah. Well, I kind of put my position out there that I don't believe the Earth itself is that old or young. I don't think it's only 6,000 years. I'm not going to limit that because God, in my opinion, and from my understandings of Joseph Smith's teachings, God took matter, which he could have used, broken up other planets and used as part of this planet and organized this planet. So the planet itself could be older than humans as we know them.
Can oh crumbs! I'm messing around with the sound here. Can I ask you, Lyle? You don't have to, because this isn't an arranged debate or anything like that, and it's a more personal question. Are you someone who grew up and was brought up with a religion, whether it's this one or not, or is
yes,
this?
Yes.
It was, yeah. Do you have children?
I do not have children yet.
You do not. Sorry, you do not. Did you say?
Yes, I do not.
Okay. Now, if you had children, what do you think you'd do? Would you bring them up under the religion, or would you wait until they're old enough so that they could choose, or what? I appreciate it's a difficult question. I'm putting you on the spot. If you say, look, I'd rather not say, that's absolutely fine. Not a problem at all.
I understand where this question is going, because in some ways, from an outsider's perspective, it is brainwashing. But I don't think...
Well, I tell you what.
Anything you teach them young is brainwashing, right? To not kill people. Why is that bad? Anything you teach a child as something being good could be considered brainwashing because they know no better.
Yeah, I suppose so. And I'm honestly not trying to trick you. And just to be open with my position, Mrs. S was pretty religious, okay? And I'm atheist. And then we had children. What do you do? Because you can't have them go to church and not go to church, okay? So
you can't have them do both at the same time. Why not?
So we had to come to some sort of decision as to what to do. So I have spoken about this before, and I'm open about this. So what we did was they did go to church so that they would hear the religious side of things, which I could not provide, not as in provide and sort of say this is my belief, but any questions they had, if they asked me, well, for instance, let's say for the sake of argument, were there dinosaurs on the ark? So I'd talk about dinosaurs. What about stars? I'd talk about stars. I did not try and do that to try and brainwash them the other way out of it, but just to give them the information and understanding as I have it. And the agreement between me and Mrs. S was they would continue to go to church until such time as they sort of said, I don't want to go. And you ask, well, why? Now, if they turn around and said, oh, well, I'd rather stay in bed on a Sunday. No, that's not good enough. But if they turn around and said, well, look, I don't think this is right, and evolution explains it better, Dad, then that was it. They no longer had to go. And from 3 girls, the eldest has remained a religious person, the other 2 are not. It's a difficult situation, and like I said, I wasn't trying to trick you or criticise you.
No. So let me expound on my position a little more. Okay, I believe that of course I believe that Adam and Eve existed. And I believe that God placed them in the Garden of Eden with a physical body of flesh and bones, and they fell from a state where they could not die into a state where they could die.
So was there only the 2 people there? Just those 2? Okay.
I do not know how long they were in the garden. That's impossible for me to know. But I do think from the time their body became completely mortal or completely able to die, till now, has been somewhere between 6,000 and 50,000 years.
Oh, right.
I'm not going to place a complete limit and say only 6,000 years.
I would guess that then a minimum of 6,000 because of adding up the biblical generations and so on. But you're prepared to say, but it could be quite a lot more than that.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know how long it took their body to change from the state of not being able to die to dying. I don't know if it was instantaneous or if it took, as we count years.
So where do you stand with things like evolution and dinosaurs and things like that?
I tend to believe there were dinosaurs, and I'm open to the idea that there was processes on the earth with the other animals, but I don't think and I think all the human race, all the humans like we are, descended from Adam and Eve. I don't know about the rest of the animals. That's why. So
what about things like the different hominids, like Lucy and Neanderthals, and all the other different, Homo erectus and Homo whatever?
I don't know if you accept this, but I don't know.
I don't know is a perfectly valid answer, Lyle. It's got to be, hasn't it? When all is said and done,
it's possible that evolution could have caused Lucy and them, but I don't think we are descended from Lucy. I think we're descended from Adam and Eve.
Well, Lucy, I would just because there's Lucy doesn't mean that we're descended, because of course it, with a many branching tree, that could have been another branch that just died out. So
and how do you know Lucy had kids? Hashtag.
Oh no! I tell you, that is, that Kent Hovind's argument. That is absolutely ridiculous. All you know is that there was a dinosaur or whatever, and it died. You don't know it had kids. No, but it would have had a mum and a dad who may have had other kids. It would have had cousins and so on, and perhaps they had. Yes, that's a pathetic argument, isn't it? Look, Lyle, I really respect you speaking about this. I really do, and. Yeah, that is one of those things. I mean, I'm with things like evolution, I'm as close to 100% acceptance of that as I possibly could be. But you always got to have that tiny little bit, because someone could come out with a killer that's it's not that, because that's always got to be a possibility.
See, I actually had a kind of weird upbringing. I was brought up in a pagan household, but my grandpa was very, very religious. He was a devout Christian, and he took me to he took me to church with him every Sunday, and he very biblical literalist church, you know, northern but technically Southern Baptist, teaching creation myths. The Bible was written exactly how it happened, and going from that on Sundays to going home and hearing like, oh, the goddess, she put us all here and gave us this bounty. And it's just growing up, having all of those different religions around me, I don't want to say it pushed me away from religion as a whole, but it definitely pushed me away from paganism and Christianity. Because like having my grandpa be like, oh, she's a heathen, and then having my mom be like, oh, he's a religious zealot, you know, it's like
well, the only difference between me and your grandpa or your grandma or Lyle or Kyle or whoever is I believe in just one God more, less. One, you know what I mean? You know, because if there's 4,000 gods out there or religions, and you believe this particular one, Lyle, then the other 3,999 you don't. I just don't for 4,000. You know.
Right.
Can I ask Lyle a question?
Yeah. Sorry. Who was that? Check out John. Yeah. For some reason, you've gone quiet now.
Well, I've been listening to you all talking.
Yeah. No. I mean, your volume's gone quiet. I've just bumped you up a bit.
Yeah, not touched it.
Well, go on.
Yeah, Lyle, you was talking about Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Before they got kicked out, would you say they had everlasting life?
They weren't. What I stated is that they were in a state where they could not die.
Right. Okay. They were in a state where they could not die. Now, given that, let's say they behave themselves and they have children.
I can barely hear you, and I have you turned all the way up.
Yeah, I've got you switched up maximum, John.
Okay.
That's how I am with both Lyle and the checkout guy. I can hardly hear either of them.
How am I doing now?
That's better.
That's a lot better.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I had it really down on my side. I can get a bit loud sometimes. Yeah, so let's say they never sinned and they had children. Would those children that they would have had, would they have been like not dying?
I don't know.
Wasn't childbirth a product of the fall? Or was it? It was just the pain of childbirth was the product. I was
going to say, when was the go forth and multiply? Because that does involve children. No, I'm serious. I don't know when in the biblical story that came along.
I'm pretty sure that's New Testament, and I think go forth and multiply was Jesus to his disciples, telling them to go convert people to Christianity.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Well, anyway, the reason why I'm asking is that in the Garden of Eden, when you said that they weren't able to die, you had the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Mm-hmm.
But you also had the tree. But you also had the tree of life. What was that there for?
Wasn't it the same one?
Die?
Wasn't that two names for the same thing?
No. Because the tree of knowledge of good and evil could not have been the tree of life, because God said, if you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you will die. So it couldn't be for the tree of life. And he says afterwards that once he kicked him out, he actually set an angel to guard the tree of life so they couldn't get back in and eat it and become like gods themselves. Do you see where I'm going with this?
I think so, but it all gets very, very tricky, doesn't it? Can I just say, good evening, welcome to Seek Truth. Speak Truth has joined us. Hello there.
Hey, Seek Truth.
Woo!
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm fine. Your volume's absolutely blasting. Go on, say again. Yeah, I don't know why. Tonight, everyone's either way, way loud or way, way quiet. I don't know. I think I got you sorted.
Am I really loud?
No, I've adjusted you. How are you, sir?
Cool. Very well, thanks, mate. How are you? Are you good?
Yeah, not so bad at all. Tonight I was supposed to be on Alien X Gaming being interviewed. He didn't turn up. I have now had a message from him.
Oh.
He forgot or he got cocked up and he wants to rearrange. Never mind.
Yeah, that must be a mistake. He's a real legend, isn't? He's interviewed a lot of people within the community.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there must be a reason why.
Yeah, I mean these things happen. I chuckle to myself. I'm not going to hold it against him much. So I thought, what am I going to do? I know, I'll do a live stream since I'm sat here. There we go.
Why not?
Kind of going back to something Mr. Sensible said earlier in talking to young Earth creationists. A young Earth creationist looks at the 6 days of the creation story and says that was 6 24-hour periods. I'm going to sit in the middle and say, I don't know. It could be, but I tend to believe that it was a period of time. Because there's other instances even in Genesis 2:4. So these are the generations of the heaven and the earth in the day that God created them. And that word day there is the same exact word day used in Genesis 1 in Hebrew. So
it's very difficult though, isn't it? Because of course we're all looking at
chapter 1 were actually periods of time, and I don't know how long those periods of time were.
But we're all looking at sort of translations of translations. Now I know that based on the Dead Sea Scrolls now, it looks as though the translations, despite the number of years, actually are pretty accurate to original. But language like Hebrew has many different meanings for the same word depending on context, so it all gets very difficult very quickly.
It also depends if you're doing it from the Septuagint or the Masoretic text anyway, because they're different.
I'm talking about the Hebrew word yom. There's
Well,
many
just
different
means a day,
places in
doesn't
the
it, like
Bible
you
where
say?
it expands it to being a period of time, and there's others where it seems like the daylight where the sun's out, and other times it's 24-hour period.
Yeah, a lot of young Earth creationists will take it as a 24-hour day literal sense.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. But then if you go to Genesis 2:4, where it combines all that same period of time of the creation into one day, I've never had a young Earth creationist be able to answer that question. Why does it here say one day, but yet there it says 6? Which was it?
Well, I think I've said before, I was at a meeting with a whole bunch of people and a minister, and someone raised the subject of creationism and so on, and they're talking about it, and this lad said, well, where did dinosaurs fit in? Oh, sorry, this girl said, where did dinosaurs fit in? And this lad popped up and said, well, not many places, they're quite big, really. Which I thought was about the best answer.
That's kind of funny.
But then also when you hear people questioning or attacking religious people about things like the rules on slavery and eating shellfish and wearing cloth of 2 threads and all these various things, so often you'll hear them say, but that was Old Testament and now we're living in New Testament times. But of course the 10 Commandments were in the Old Testament. So then it becomes very uncomfortable. You're picking and choosing, not you, Lyle, but are people picking and choosing which bits to follow and which bits not?
Well, especially when there's you're missing 603 other ones. There's 613 commandments in the Bible. Any Jew will tell you that.
I couldn't comment. My knowledge doesn't run to... I have read it. I've read
Trust me, 613 commandments in the Bible, and the Christians pick 10.
Well, it's funny when I talk to people and they tell me, we don't have to go by the Old Covenant anymore. I would ask them, so if Jesus didn't keep the 10 Commandments, could he still be a savior? And obviously the answer is no. And I said, so if Jesus has to keep the 10 Commandments, why shouldn't we?
It's very
but
difficult.
They say Jesus did away with the 10 Commandments. He only kept a couple. He only mentions 2 of them.
No, I'm talking about the 10 Commandments of the
Old Testament.
He gave to Moses.
Yeah, the Old Testament 10 Commandments.
Yeah, I'm talking specifically those.
Right.
And then the other question I always ask, and maybe you guys should ask this next time you're talking to him, is if Jesus kept the complete law. Ask him, was marriage part of the law of Moses?
I'm not quite sure what you're saying. You're saying he should have been married or should not marry, or what are you saying there?
Well, if Jesus kept the law completely and marriage was part of the law, wouldn't he have to keep that part to keep the law completely?
Yeah. Now you're going into like the Gnostic Gospels where it kind of hints at Jesus was married to Mary.
I don't have a problem with thinking he was married, because if he kept the law completely, he would have had to been married. Well, but I don't know for certain.
So I've never heard the sort of suggestion that he would have had to have been, but I also never. I always found it difficult that people could accept that he may have been, whether he had to or not. As you're saying about if he was married to Mary Magdalene, wasn't that?
If he was married, I think he had, because in that time, marriage was a plurality of marriage. Like, you've got examples in the Old Testament of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, David, Solomon.
Yeah, polygamy was all the rage back then.
Yeah, so it's potential that he could have been married to Mary Magdalene and Martha, and maybe more. I don't know. Those two definitely.
I don't know.
Can you point out a scripture where it says?
Hey, see, your experience. You butt in, mate. You know how to run the game. Come on, you step forward.
But sorry to cut you guys off. I got to get out of here. Take it easy, Mr. Sensible.
All right. Well, thanks, Jordan. See you again sometime soon. Yeah.
Yep. See you soon. Mate. Later.
Yeah.
See you later, mate.
Yeah. Go ahead, Seek.
No, I was just going to say, why is there such significance maybe put towards Jesus and those parts in the Bible, the teachings? There's other ways, that we do know how to live and have morals. I don't myself understand why such emphasis is put on, in my opinion, sort of more of a legend or a myth. Yeah.
That's where you're misunderstanding it. You see, the reason why Jesus is so crucial, is pivotal to salvation, according to the Christian belief. That's what it's all about. Whereas
it's blood sacrifice, isn't it?
It's, the Messiah hasn't arrived yet. Well,
yes, it is the fulfillment of blood sacrifice. He sacrificed his own blood to save the world.
Because we got the whole thing about sacrificing animals, hence the term scapegoat. Sacrificing an animal to what's the word? To be forgiven, I guess, as an offering. And he is supposedly the ultimate offering, the purest offering to cleanse all sin. But
exactly.
It all gets a very... that's the logic behind it, but it all gets a bit difficult when the rules are set in place. And I don't mean... I'm not trying to be facetious, but the rules are set in place by God. He says that we've broken the rules. To be forgiven, we have to have a blood sacrifice, but no ordinary blood sacrifice would be given, would be good enough. So he becomes, in effect, his own son to sacrifice himself, so he obeys and fulfills his rules. I'm not trying. I'm not being funny. I'm not trying to take the piss, but it's quite a story.
I get what you mean.
In your group, in your text chat in YouTube, someone asked an interesting question. They stated, in the Bible, why didn't Jesus write anything himself? And to that point, when we read the first books of the Bible, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Numbers, they claim to be the books of Moses, but I don't necessarily think that Moses would have had to handwrite them himself.
Oh, Moses never wrote anything.
Just like Jesus didn't write anything.
Well, no, he did write one thing.
I think he could have wrote stuff, but I don't necessarily believe 100% that he had to write the books of Moses. He could have had a scribe do it.
Jesus actually reported in the New Testament that he did write something. It's only mentioned once. It's an interpolation. Nobody actually believes it actually happened, but it's in the New Testament. You remember the story of the woman caught in adultery?
Yes.
There's a big crowd there going to throw stones at her. Jesus bent down and wrote something in the sand. Nobody knows what it was. It does say that, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, well, I know
But
what it
that's
said.
a testimony of someone saying that he wrote it, though.
Yeah, but I know what he said. I know what he wrote.
Okay.
How much? Sorry, it's a bad joke.
Well, Lyle, when you have something like the story of Noah and the Ark, okay, have you ever come across or ever looked into Gilgamesh?
Oh yeah, that came with a few.
There are a lot of places with creation stories.
Yeah, but basically it's about a bloke, and he's got a boat, and there's a worldwide flood, and he takes on animals in pairs, and he releases doves and whatever birds to see if there's dry land. It's basically the biblical Noah's Ark story from thousands of years before, and it's not the first version of it.
Places in South America that have the same type of stories.
Mm-hmm. There are flood stories from various places, but we do have floods in. Lyle, I don't want you to feel that we're all ganging up on you. Okay, we're happy to talk about this. Okay,
I was bringing that up because maybe you didn't know. Yeah. I mean, there's stories all over the world of for that local region, it would have been a flood, right? So if there's multiple flood stories all over the world, then that, I mean, I don't know, like, if it necessarily had to be 12 stories deep everywhere on Earth, but in some places it was, and in other places it filled in crevices that could have been, a quarter of an inch.
Dare I say, water finds its own level. Sorry.
You're a flat.
But then,
I thought you were going to say water doesn't support itself.
Yeah, but then, of course, with something like Noah's flood, you're down to whatever was it, 8 people, 10 people. You can't. They'd have had to be rather busy to repopulate afterwards, and then of course you've got the how to. So from 8 people in the Middle East, obviously from them you've got to make populations of different races. So all the Asian races, the Aboriginal races, Native Americans, Inuit, and so on. People with very, very different physical looks, and even I've forgotten where they're from, and I don't know if it's an appropriate term nowadays. If so, forgive me. But like pygmies in whichever places, that can happen over time. Well, obviously it has happened, but it's evolution. It would have to be evolution max. It'd be way faster than we would claim for evolution.
Wait a minute. If you're going,
is there evidence for? Sorry, mate. Is there evidence for, say, a collapse and then like a rebuild of, like a sudden sharp evolution from 8 people that repopulated the Earth? Like, is there evidence of that?
Are you asking Lyle or anyone?
Lyle or anyone. That is a question. Because I personally don't know of any.
Any evidence for what, mate?
I'm saying that if the story is true that there were 8 people, you also have, if that story is true, then you have to accept that it's true that they lived a lot longer too. And if they lived a lot longer, then there would have been reproduction a lot longer too. Noah's said to have lived like 800 years, and if he had him and his wife had children all during that 800 years.
Well, let's just take that. I mean, we won't argue about that. Let's just assume that that's the case. And that there's a much longer period that they could have children. That's fine. But we'd have been limited. Our gene pool only, 4,000 years back or whatever it was narrowed down to just 8 people. So variations that we have now would all be variations from those 8 people. And it's not the case.
Yeah, but that would explain why we have flavors, though, wouldn't it?
Well, they missed the boat.
No, the genetic anomalies. That
Right, the fullback. That's cousin Cletus is a
There you
flathead.
go.
Cletus.
I know you guys might not accept this, but I don't know the answer to that.
Like I said, Lyle, don't know. It is. I think that's valid. I mean, I'd have to say I know you're not making an argument now. We're not having a debate. I would say it's a weak. It would have to be a weakness in your argument, for want of a better word. But hey, I certainly don't know everything. Certainly not.
No.
And I have said before now when who was it? I had Arwin on, and he brought up the orbit of Mercury. Now I knew just from knowledge I had that there had been a problem with Newtonian mechanics, which could not quite explain everything about the orbit of Mercury. I wasn't sure exactly what it was, and I also knew just from previous knowledge that Einstein and relativity had, I thought, partially explained it. Turns out he's totally explained it. But I said in that stream, hey, I don't know. I think I don't know. I have more respect for someone saying I don't know the answer to that than someone waffling on and making up bull crap like people like Sleeping Warrior do.
Right. So in the book of Genesis, in where it talks about them having children, Adam and Eve had a lot of children. They didn't just have Cain and Abel and Seth, and that's it.
But of course, then the question was going to be who did those children hit it off with?
And just like, well, obviously their
It was a family affair at first, I suppose.
But no. but look, even the story of Noah. How many children did he have?
I don't know.
We only hear of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, right?
Yeah, 3 sons. That's all he had.
But that's all that's mentioned. That doesn't mean he didn't have more. And when we're talking about the repopulating,
that doesn't mean he did either.
But on that point that you make there, if you're correct in saying he may have had like other daughters besides his 3 sons, then don't you think it's a bit of a bitch him leaving him off the ark and only taking the 3 sons with him?
Maybe they were after. No, I'm not being funny, but maybe they're after.
Oh yeah, you're right. They would have had to been after.
Yeah, they would have been after.
Right,
but you see, with something like that, you could discuss that and what, not be funny, was it incest, was it a problem genetically and so on. But you see, I'd come back to the more simple scientific problems of how does a non-experienced person build basically a ship from wood, and the largest wooden ship we've ever built, I think wasn't as big as the Ark would have had to be. And if you have a look at film, you can see film on YouTube looking in a super tanker, and you can see the corridors bend and flex on the waves, which is why we can't build ships out of wood that big, because they're full to bits. So how did someone who does not have all the computer skills and boatwright experience manage to do it in that sort of timescale? See, that's where and then I'd have a problem, you see.
Well, my problem is it only took him a few years to actually build that boat. How did the pandas get on it?
How did what? Pandas?
The pandas. How did the pandas get on it?
Yeah, and sloths. Sloths are quite slow.
What about the thing you're missing here is what about the pine trees and the pine cones or the elephants? What about those things? How'd they get there?
And even if you managed to get them all there, how do things spread out again so that all the marsupials all somehow got to Australia, all went that way with no trace of them anywhere in between, and other species that are limited to very small areas?
Perhaps obviously they may have done a round trip around that plane.
Drop them off like a cruise.
Drop them all back off again. Yeah.
It was a flat plane, but now it's a sphere. Like the Ranty or Sleeping Warrior, who said it's flat during the day and a sphere at night.
Mark Tin says the koalas must have crawled all the way to Oz with no suitable food. Yeah, and I mean, like with the pandas, let's forget about how they got there. What about their food supply? They eat bamboo. There's not a lot of bamboo in the Middle East, as far as I'm aware.
Here's a big problem I have with Ken Hovind. He believes that the dinosaurs and humans lived at the same time.
Yeah.
Were there brontosauruses on the Ark?
Yeah, but he's
the Ark was really.
But he also says his explanation for that, Lyle, is, of course, he didn't take full-size ones. You take little ones, little babies, little young ones.
Yeah, little babies are going to be big.
What? Yeah. And you know they built an Ark. His Ark experience, supposedly to scale and so on. Never mind about whether it will float. It's actually got steel supports to hold it up and together.
Don't forget the other half.
That's what I was going to mention. That's actually in my where I live in a county called Suffolk, and then I live in a town called Ipswich. We've actually got quite a big port, and that Noah's Ark replica has been sat there ever since COVID started.
Is that the one that's built on some metal barges?
I don't know. I mean,
a couple have been made
it is
of
huge.
Yeah.
But they were charging loads to get on there, like 30 quid to even go on it.
Do you know, I've not even heard of that. I've not even heard of that. I'd like to see that, do a video.
Yeah.
I wonder,
it's about a 15-minute walk away from me, literally, the actual replica of the Noah's Ark.
Well, I'll tell you what, see, when this whole COVID thing's done, I wouldn't mind arranging it. It could meet up, have a beer, have a look round there, do a video together, have lunch, that sort of thing. Because there's a few things I want to do. Cause that sounds like something else I'd be interested in doing. Because I also want to do a trip to the Space Museum or whatever it's called near Leicester, and Bletchley Park. So I want to do a few out and about videos.
Yeah, I think we should. Once all this COVID is over.
Yeah.
You know, the little collabs we could all get together. You know, imagine say you and Cats, and you can just do little meetups and little videos together. I think the whole community would love that because everyone's been kind of stuck at home at the minute.
Yeah.
That'd be nice to see.
The only real thing that's happened is your mage. Do you know what I mean?
I was lucky to get that in just before, really, wasn't it? Well, in fact, it was between lockdowns. Thinking about it, it's between lockdowns. So very, very lucky with the timing.
Because technically, really, now you'd be at that stage where it's not a necessary journey.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Wouldn't be allowed to.
That's why at the minute I can't put out any of my history videos because I'm I can't justify really going out on location and filming, and if you know what I mean, it just seems a bit unnecessary. So I'm just kind of holding all that sort of stuff back. I think a lot of people will be.
Picks for Domination said do a bold meetup. Well, that would be all right, but what if I've decided to change and got long flowing locks?
Yeah, it'd be like a bloody snooker game or something, wouldn't it, if all us lot met up? Jesus.
We could do
Why is the table flat and all their heads are round?
We should have a thing with the back of each of our heads and spot the debunker.
Yeah.
Can you identify your favourite YouTuber from the rear? Oh dear.
Classic. There must be something in it, I think. Baldness equals intelligence.
Or something.
Oh my god, yeah, something, yeah. Don't know what. Probably far from intelligence, but.
Well, guys, I don't know exactly how long I've been 2 hours it says. I think I started at 9:15. Yeah, it's 11:30. That's 2 3/4 hours, isn't it? YouTube only tells me 2.
Christ.
Yeah.
You've been going a long time.
Yeah. Well, it's been great. And Lyle, I want to say massive thank you for bringing up that topic and being so open and a good sport and not offended and, having a good chat about it.
Yeah, thanks, Lyle.
Oh, maybe we've upset him. I'm sure it's not the case. But I think that's really good. And the fact... I don't know if he's got lost audio. You haven't lost audio from everyone, have you? Some bunny killers saying lost audio.
I can hear you all, yeah.
Am I on? Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we've upset. Yeah, I've just played the stream. The sound's still coming through. I don't know what that is then. Yeah, sorry, is Lyle back?
No, I don't think so.
Don't know. No. Well, Lyle, if you can hear us, as I said, thank you for trusting that you could bring up a subject like that. You know, that actually is quite pleasing to me, that I've engendered that trust, that you felt you could raise something like that, because you know that on many channels you get people ripping into you. Instead, we've had a nice conversation about it. Obviously, we don't all agree, and that's fine. That's always going to be the case.
Sorry, I stepped out for a moment.
I don't know if you caught that there, Lyle. I was just thanking you for coming on the stream anyway, but for bringing up that subject, being open about it, being willing to talk, knowing full well that pretty much everyone else is going to disagree with you. So I appreciate the trust you've shown there.
That's fine. I mean, what is America in the world without differing opinions?
Complicated.
How fun would that be?
As I say to quite frequently to Mrs. S, I said, look, it would be so much easier if everyone just agreed with me. But no, apparently I'm wrong. But there we go.
It's going to be a sad time in heaven if everybody agrees with everybody.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So, and thank you for jumping in, both you, John and Seek. Yeah. It's a shame you couldn't have got here a little earlier, but I know we all have lives and so on. You know that you're always welcome here, Seek.
Thank you, mate. Yeah. I kind of just noticed it a bit late there, but I kind of was just like, hit that Discord link and thought, you know, come and jump on if I may. So thank you very much, mate. It's always a pleasure.
No, I was going to say exactly the same.
Up a bit earlier.
And even if it's just to pop in for 5 minutes and say hello, shoot the breeze, and then clear off, that's always fine as well. Okay, well, guys, what I'll do is I'll chuck you into the waiting room. Marek, I see, is sat in there. Unfortunately, sorry, Marek. I'm just winding up now. I did see there was someone else who's disappeared now. Oh, someone's just disappeared off the list. Who was that? I don't know.
I just want to say thanks for having me on, mate. I appreciate it.
Very welcome, John. Very welcome. It's been a good conversation. It's Lyle that's disappeared. It's a good conversation.
And I hope I haven't upset anybody.
No, not at all. We are more than... We want people to disagree and chat about things. Otherwise, there's no point. If we all sit here and say, yeah, we all agree, it's not much of a discussion, really, is it? So...
yeah, it's like that then becomes an echo chamber, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, so yeah, you need some pepper with your salt, you know.
I like that. That's a good expression. I've not heard that before.
I actually just made that up there and then. Yeah,
I like that. I'll try and remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to chuck you into the waiting room, and I'll be in there in just a minute. Okay.
Cheers,
cool.
mate.
Well, I'm literally going to go right now, Mr.
You're going to run. Okay,
say goodbye now.
Not a worry. I'll catch you soon,
Steve.
All the best.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
I've got work tomorrow. I'll see you again.
Okay, well, you take care, John. Thank you for dropping in. Hope to see you again sometime.
Cheers.
Okay, bye-bye. Wow, what a great stream that's been. And as I said, it was one that was not planned at all. I really enjoyed it. I enjoy all my streams. Not because I enjoy doing all the streams. I enjoy chatting in the chat with all you lot, chatting with people who come in. And I enjoyed looking at that Anthony Riley thing, but what a load of dirt that is. Don't forget, Where's Wally is planning to do a debunk video on it. That's bound to be good. I mean, I just did a quick run through and basically called him an idiot, really. I'm sure Wally will come up with some better evidence against it. So don't forget to keep an eye on Where's Wally's channel. So hope to see you all again soon. I don't know what's happening next. I'm actually on my annual leave, so I'm going to be around quite a bit more over the next just under 2 weeks. So I hope to get some more videos done and a couple of live streams. Hopefully I can get another debate or a chat with someone of interest. I have been trying to get in touch with Flatzoid. Flatzoid, if you happen to be listening, please email me, links in the description, or DM me on my Discord. I'd like to have a chat with you in confidence. Nothing will be passed on to anyone else, including your email address. Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, I'm sure you'll still do videos. You'll still think I'm wrong, and I'll still do videos and point out why you are wrong. But We can keep it civil, and I'd like to hook up. Thank you ever so much for the super chats. Thank you ever so much, all my members, subscribers, everyone who's joined in the chat, and of course my wonderful patrons. So I'm going to say thank you very much. Good night.